Talking Ball Y'all Media proudly brings to you Friday Night Gridiron, powered by Diamond Productions. Their motto is, we don't set the bar, we raise it. Now let's head out to the stadium and join the voice of the Maroon Tide, Clay Sweet and Ricky Whitaker.
Welcome into Long Beach High School as tonight Tide take the show on the road, trying to run their record out to 3-0 in district play. 7-1 overall is where the Tide's trying to reach to. Long Beach 0-2 in district play. And so I'm Clay Sweet, Ricky Whitaker to my left tonight as we're perched outside of the visiting press box here. And it's the visiting press box, but it's actually located on the home side. We always try to let you know where we're located. That way you can judge the crowd reaction and kind of know before we tell you if it's good or bad news. If you hear it quickly, then that would be bad news for the Picayune Maroon Tide. To be honest, we don't expect a lot of bad news. If we do get that, it would be kind of different than what the records show us and tell us about this potential matchup. As we've already stated, Long Beach comes in with a 1-6 record. Your Picayune Maroon Tide with a 6-1. Rick, let's get right into it, my friend. As always, I appreciate you. Glad you are by my side tonight, and welcome in to the broadcast.
Always enjoy being next to you, Clay, and boy, just can't say enough about the just good deeds we've gotten from this Long Beach crew that's going to be calling their game tonight, helping us out get set up. Got some police tape up around us to make sure we're not bothered here. And a beautiful night for football. 72 degrees at kickoff is what we're going to be anticipating here. A little bit windy, 10-mile-an-hour winds out of the east-southeast, so going to be a little bit of a chill in the air, but football weather all around, my friend.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to have to put this sweatshirt on between one of these breaks in our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. We appreciate you choosing them and then choosing us tonight to take in the action. If you would, first things first, if you could, check out our YouTube channel. If you're going audio only so far in this broadcast, if you check out our YouTube channel provided by Diamond Productions, that's where you can get the handiwork of Jackson Harrelson with the camera, and that will be your spot to take it in with video. If you're joining us audio only, welcome in as well. Rick, kind of your thoughts when you look at Long Beach so far this season, as we had a chance to kind of gather and look at them on film. What have you seen for the Long Beach Bearcats?
I think when you flip the film on, Clay, you see a team that's struggled at times. They've had some injuries. Got a new first-year head coach in Cody Finley. But Cody Finley's not new to the program, been on the staff for a couple of years as an assistant coach. So, you know, it takes a little time to build, but some good things, especially offensively. A young man that we'll see tonight, Junior Brown, he'll be wearing number 22 for Long Beach. Been a player on this team for a long time and a good one. He's over the 700-yard mark on the ground this year. Had some troubles. We mentioned injuries. Derek McDonald, the sophomore quarterback, we don't know if we'll see him tonight. Got a little bit dinged up in the Gaucher game. And they had to take one of their better offensive weapons at wide receiver, and S.J. Valentine, number 1. He's been doing the fill-in duties there at the quarterback position. So they've typically come out and run a shotgun with an option-type look, 3-4 wide receiver sets. We did see Valentine slip under center, just struggling a little bit. Not a true quarterback, really plays wide receiver. But be a lot of Junior Brown tonight. Another young man that they've been excited about running the football is Gavin Sutherland. He'll be number 34 for them. Plays linebacker and running back, 5'7", 180. He's the what they refer to as their dive back, right? And you'll use that word a lot when you're running an option type look. But he's kind of that fullback position. But a struggle this year for the Bearcats. You mentioned their record already. They've played some close games. They've also played some quality opponents as well. Teams like South Jones, and had to play a really good team in Pass Christian on the 4A ranks. It's wrapped up their district play, their district already. So this year, so a good schedule for them, but really kind of they're trying to build here and have a lot of young kids on the roster.
Yeah, and when you look at it, Rick had a chance to take in the coaches show a couple times this season, and they get on the whiteboard Their play-by-play color analyst. Actually, their play-by-play guy, the press box, just recently named after him, Tony McGill. And then Coach Delaney does a good job on the whiteboard drawing it up. And they drew up the rushing attack, not of the Tide, but just in general. And you heard that term. You know, they kind of spoke in generalities about the Tide, did Coach Finley in his first season here. Routinely, we're able to get the opposing head coach on our preview pod. Couldn't find Coach Finley this week. We reached out in 3 or 4 different ways. We're unable to get him. So normally this is a portion where we kind of speak back to those comments. But just in watching the show, last week's performance against Pascagoula, they started that ball game, Rick, with 2 pick sixes. And, boy, that really kind of puts you behind schedule, puts you behind what you want to do. But any signs kind of a life, they kept talking about how hard the kids play, which is certainly a good sign. But any signs tonight from that offense coming in with a quarterback that maybe has been pressed in to that duty that would give the Tide any trouble at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, as we mentioned, with the quarterback that they've had, just not a quarterback by trade. And really, you look at their roster, only 81 kids or so on the roster, trying to build the program a little bit. But I think that if they can get Brown going, what I would encourage them to do is not to step away from that too early, right? We see teams sometimes take chances and you go 3 and out and punt in the passing game. I think it's them trying to establish a running game, and Brown's a good player, and if he gets a seam, he's a good enough ball player to break one. So I think it's going to start with him. They'll have to get him going on the ground. Yeah,
we'll find out more about this matchup as we'll hear from Greg Ducker down on the field with Cody Stagner after this 2-minute timeout. We'll take a 2-minute break on your Mossy Picayune pregame show. When we return, we will have your interview with head coach Cody Stagner and also a look at our impact players tonight on the other side of this 2-minute timeout.
Thanks for stopping by Mossy Picayune. We're proud to be your family-owned GM Superstore, serving Mississippi and Louisiana with new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here, you're more than just a customer, you're part of the Mossy family. We offer a family-friendly atmosphere backed by GM-certified parts and service, and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. Mossy Picayune, it's small-town friendly service with big-time savings.
Friday night lights, hometown pride, and neighbors you can count on. That's what makes our community special. And that's exactly what you'll find at FNB Picayune Bank, your hometown bank. With 4 convenient branches in Picayune, you'll always see the same friendly faces ready to help, whether it's everyday checking or big life goals. Visit fnbop.com or stop by today, where banking feels like home.
A lot goes into powering this community. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative wants you to know we've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge we honor every day. From our member service representatives to our linemen and those making sure the power you use is there when you need it. We've got you. Always.
Brought to you by Coast Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Let's hear from Cody Stagner prior to tonight's matchup as we're here.
Cody Stagner. Coach, as we come to Longbeach tonight, give me some of the thoughts on the game tonight and what we're looking for out of the Tide.
We're just looking to try to play a perfect game. I know it's hard to be perfect. We're striving for perfection, though. We want to do it all 4 quarters. That means clean on offense, hold on to the football, execute every play, try to score every time we get the ball, and defensively tackle. I mean, my goodness, we're probably setting a record right now for most missed tackles in the state of Mississippi. So I'm looking forward to just seeing how well we tackle. We worked on a lot this week. We got after it a little bit, so I think the guys are a little hungry to play, hungry to kind of get that bad taste out of them because we've been harping on it. We've letting them know we want to go far into the season. We've got to tackle better. So I'm hoping we see a lot better out of our guys in that area tonight.
So this week, as you prepared for Longbeach, has there been anything defensively outside of tackling that you've trying to and Coach Hayden work up scheme-wise?
Oh, man, I mean, there's a different type of offense. I mean, they're going to be veer option, counter option. So Everybody's got a job to do. It's not tackle. This is veer option football. It's not tackle the man with the ball. It's everybody, defensive end, defensive tackles, linebacker. Everybody has a specific job to do. And when they don't do their job is when they can hurt you. They can slip through a fullback on a dive. They can slip through quarterback on keeping and then pitching. And so everybody has to do their job to the best of their ability and do it right. And they can't try. The moment they try to do somebody else's job is the moment you get beat. So that's one thing. It's going to be really. We have to be sound tonight, very sound in our defensive scheme, and then make the plays when we get there to make them.
Okay. Coach, we know you got to get in and give them a pregame talk. We appreciate a couple of minutes for the game. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Great job there by Greg Ducker on our Mossy of Picayune pregame show. And Rick, he was visiting with a first-time head coach here with Long Beach so long. He kind of boxed me out from my traditional visit with Cody Stagner, but Greg Ducker right there to come in and clean up that, and a good interview. As always, I kind of like to get your thoughts on what you heard from Cody Stagner as we prep for tonight's matchup. We're about 19 minutes out from kickoff. What'd you kind of hear there from Coach Stag?
I think we're on the same page with him, and the two things that he pointed out, first being the perfect game they're still looking for. And look, it was a big win last week. I thought it was a great game, but you still had 28 points that went up. Now, some of that was towards the end of the game when we had some backup guys in, some of the reserve guys in, but I think he's still looking for that complete four-quarter dominating game. And I think when you go to tackling, and he mentioned it, this is going to be the night. You don't see a lot of read-type option-type offenses anymore. That means someone's going to have an assignment of the quarterback. Someone's going to have the dive back, as we mentioned, that fullback. Someone's going to be responsible for Brown. This will be a good night for our linebackers to get involved in this defense.
Yeah, and when you say that, Rick, if our defense is playing really well from the get-go, obviously 3 and outs or something that we look for, but other signs of really good health from the defense to say that the defense is playing well, what would you kind of hear me describing on the play-by-play action from the defensive side?
Well, especially in these offenses like we talked about, and someone's going to move, and it's going to be your job not to move to him but to move to the person that is going to be maybe the pitch man or the quarterback. I think we're going to see some contact at the line of scrimmage. If we're in the right spots, I think you'll get pretty excited on some of those, meeting that pitch guy or meeting the quarterback at the line of scrimmage and making a big play there, wrapping him up and tackling for a loss. I think that's what we'll be looking for tonight.
Some other things that we'll be looking for is the Maroon Tide's impact players, our talking ball, y'all, impact players. And, Rick, when you look at 3 or 4 of these guys for the Maroon Tide, what would you potentially look for tonight, and what have you liked so far for the Tide to be able to put up some of these gaudy numbers to this point in the season?
Well, just starting with Zay Dennis and his numbers, Clay. His numbers are number 2 on the coast, behind another very good running back that we got to see in Keys from Poplarville. So Zay's numbers have been huge, and those are top 10 in the state. You look at some of the rankings for rushing yards, those are top 10 numbers. What I liked the most last week is that he did it on 15 carries. We talked about that in our preview episode as well. I think that a 10 to 15 touch night for Zay, if the defense and things are going well, is going to be important. But, boy, look at Eddie Cruz's numbers. From what I could see, his 41-yard long field goal is top in the state as well. But he's been dynamite, 28 out of 30 for his extra points, and 3 out of 4 on field goals, which that was the game winner against Pascagoula. So he's been great. But, boy, 37 points have been scored by him, and the biggest number of all, 19 touchbacks. Felt like he had half of those last week. And you look at Nolan Wilson, those are the 4-star type stats that we want to see. Tackles for a loss are high, right? 5 sacks. And I thought he's really turned it on the last couple of games, especially last week. You mentioned it, and I think it's worth mentioning again if you didn't take in the preview episode. We started the game calling his name out a lot.
Yeah, he set the tone, didn't he, Rick?
Yeah, that's what we want to see. And another guy that's ranked up there amongst the best in the state is Jamari Hawthorne. 3 interceptions are pretty good, 42 tackles, but he's also contributing on offense, 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. So you go back to, again, that Pascagoula game where we needed it. He gets an interception, he comes down the field, and he puts in the touchdown as well. So really good. Those 4 guys have been great. it speaks to a couple of things, Clay. It's all three phases of the game. We got special teams, offense, and defense. That's what we're going to need. And I think when you see a Nolan Wilson and a Jamari Hathorn, they're really speaking for the entire defense. Nolan Wilson primarily the play of that defensive front. And then when you look at the offensive numbers, it's been Zay Dennis, but, boy, he's got a lot of help around him. We mentioned Jamari already. Also Jabari Hawthorne. Colt Robertson's been great over the century mark last week through the air. Those guys have all been great. But these are some guys that I look forward to be playing big factors again tonight.
Yeah, and when you look at it, Rick, when you see a kid have a week like he had last week, and Zay Dennis in particular, that really tells you that that whole offensive line was working in tandem together, had really good chemistry of moving the Hawks out of the way and letting Dennis do what he does and dance out into space and really light up these huge numbers. I mean, he's at a good spot now. He's been good all season long, but you throw in the numbers from last week, and that's how you get to these gaudy numbers posted out in front of us at the moment.
Yeah, 8.8 yards per carry and 184 a game. I mean, that's most people's rush attack as a team. And I want to say this too, Clay. When you follow Picayune football, and look, I mean, we see the comments and we talk to people around our community that we do life with, as you like to say. Picayune just runs the football. Don't get lost in that and let that take away from what these guys are doing, because these are great numbers. And again, if everybody in the world knows you're about to run it and you're still putting numbers up like this, that means you got a back that's got good vision and you've got an offensive line that's moving people.
Yeah, that's a good point by you. Is it's not like the Tide are doing it with a bunch of trick plays, although I will say some of our formation, some of the ways that we will move you and get your eyes to move, I think have helped the passing game. And I think Colt Robertson keeps getting better every week. Rick, not that he needed to improve, but you always want to get better. And his passing numbers keep going up. I think as the Tide continue to use him and Wilkins and Fortenberry in this passing game, you're going to see those numbers. Dennis is a guy who's willing to catch the football out of the backfield. He's got 2 touchdowns receiving the football as well, hit a big play in the passing game. And so that element coming along is a big sign for the Tide as well.
It is, and I think in a game like this, you know, if you're Picayune and Coach Stagner and his group, I think this is the time in the season. You got 3 games left in the district. Look, Picayune's going to be in the postseason. We know that. We'll see how the standings shake up. But this is really that game where you want to come out and maybe Colt throws it 8 or 9 times, right? You kind of have the opportunity to do that. You put some different things on film, and you make coaches start thinking about a little bit different things, the weapon that Colt can be. So I think tonight I'd love to see them come out the first couple of drives and see those numbers in a pass game.
Yep, that would be interesting to see as the band for Long Beach is out. The captains for Long Beach are out. I do not see our Picayune Maroon Tide out of the locker room just yet. You'll have a maroon and white game tonight. Long Beach going to be in the solid maroon. Tide going to be in their traveling whites tonight. We will take a 3-minute timeout. We'll return here on our Mossy of Picayune pregame show.
Hi, this is Sandy Kane Smith. I'm running to serve as your next Pearl River County Tax Assessor Collector. I've been responsible for managing over 100 employees, multi-million-dollar budget, and audits across all areas of county government. I will make sure you will get a fair assessment, fully staffed office, and bring back hometown customer service. Thank you for allowing me to serve the last 16 years as your Board of Supervisor. I truly appreciate your confidence and support, but on November the 4th, I need your help. Your vote makes the difference. This is Sandy Kane Smith, and I will see you at the polls.
Paid for by Sandy Kane Smith for Tax Assessor Collector. Protecting your personal belongings is a basic human instinct. You've worked hard for what you have. At Executive Storage, we are dedicated to providing you true, secure storage options and peace of mind. With 2 convenient locations to choose from, you can trust us to protect your personal, family, and business assets. Give us a call today at 601-798-4000 and let us help you protect your most prized possessions.
Tucked away in the woodlands of Pearl River County is where you will find the Henry Smith House and its sister property, River Oak Manor. From an elegant Victorian estate to a sleek, cozy farmhouse, these two stunning venues are perfect for weddings, events, or a weekend escape. The properties offer serenity with a genuine and unique experience among pristinely beautiful grounds. Experience southern charm, modern comfort, and unforgettable moments, all in one gorgeous destination. River Oak Manor is breaking ground for continued expansion for wedding and event accommodations and are booking reservations for 2026 and beyond. Visit bearriveroakmanor.com and start planning for your perfect getaway today.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
Healthy pets, happy people, exceptional medicine, compassionate care. That's our motto at the Animal Health Clinic in Picayune. Located at 500 Kelly Road, we are equipped with the latest veterinary technology and provide a full menu of animal health services, including after-hours emergencies. Dr. Alan Smith invites you to join our clinic family by checking out our website at ahcpicayune.com or calling us at 601-799-1300.
We'll join the anthem already in progress. Awesome rendition of our national anthem there has been played, Ricky Whitaker, as we near tonight's kickoff, about 7 minutes out from tonight's kickoff in our Mossy of Picayune pregame show.
Captains for the Longbeach Bearcats tonight. One of the young men we talked about, number 1, S.J. Valentine, senior, 5'11", 195. Joined by number 66, Trey Ladner, senior offensive lineman, 6', 230, and another senior offensive lineman, Durante Brown, 6'3", 270.
So that is the captains for the visiting Bearcats for our Picayune Maroon Tide across the way. Let's see if we can get our captains tonight. That is Fortenberry, Darius Fortenberry. That is Brandon Illett. Let's see who else we have out there for our Tide. Trying to scan and get a number. I believe that's Cam Quinn for the Tide and also Jarrell Curry. So that's the 4 captains for the Tide tonight. That's how the Tide will come out. They're in maroon breeches, white tops, maroon lettering, that beautiful maroon headgear, and an oddity that the band play the anthem has the captains offset, Rick. Can't say midfield. They're at the, what is that, the 35-yard line that the captains are undergoing this coin toss. So a kind of a different start to this one tonight already as the band occupies the middle.
Band trying to get an early start at the half, huh?
Yeah, that's a different look of things. Long Beach will receive the opening kick. So Long Beach going to get it first. Rick, how can the Tide, I know we've talked about it a couple times, but what would this opening drive be as a tone setter? That's kind of how they did against Hancock a week ago, was really able to set the tone. Nolan Wilson able to make those first 2 tackles.
Yeah, and it's really simple, Clay. I mean, everybody in this stadium tonight knows that Long Beach is an underdog in this game, but that's why you play the game, to see what happens. And I think for the Maroon Tide, if Long Beach starts believing that they can move the football, it's going to make them believe they can hang around in this ball game for a long time. So I think for the Maroon Tide, a quick 3 and out is a good start.
Yep, and we'll see if the Tide do that as the home squad, Long Beach, has made their way over to the near sideline. You can hear our band really booming in the background. That's the Tide band across the way. They get ready for state competition tomorrow. We wish them the best of luck. We'll head up north to Pearl, Mississippi for that state competition. We got here in time, Rick, as we're setting up. We get here obnoxiously early to these ball games to get set up. We're able to see the Long Beach football program warming up, soccer program warming up. That's a prestigious soccer program on the men's and the women's side. I know you have a young lady going to play jamboree soccer for the Blue Devils tomorrow for Pearl River Central. I will be headed out to take in jamboree action as we are on the eve of high school soccer getting kicked off.
Yes, we are. Good news is we'll both be in Laurel the following weekend. We'll get to hang out a little bit on Saturday.
We sure will.
I'll get to watch E, and you'll get to watch my daughter a little bit. Hopefully it'll work out that way.
Yeah, I'll get to see Sophie and her teammates from the Blue Devil side, and then E and his teammates from the Maroon Tide side. Tonight we'll get to see the Bearcats and the Maroon Tide. Eddie Cruz, who we've talked about here, is one of our impact players for what he's done in the kicking game for the Tide. Has it teed up. He's ready to rock and roll. Well, I'll say, yep, there's teed up. Cruz with 19 touchbacks coming into tonight's action. He's 28 of 30 on PATs, 3 of 4 on field goals is Eddie Cruz. A windy night. You could hear that in the background of Greg Ducker's interview with Cody Stagner. It's going to be a breezy night. You'll hear that in our mics. There's just nothing we can do about that tonight.
Long Beach going to have their best 2 offensive weapons back. No surprise there in Valentine and Junior Brown. Let's see if Eddie can get it over their heads.
Yep, as it will be Valentine over on the right hash. Over on the left will be Brown. Valentine going to be dressed in white, numeral 1, those white sleeves peeking out of that maroon jersey. Brown, a good-looking kid. We've seen a ton of him over the years here covering Long Beach football. He's tucked over on that left hash. Cruz has brought out the white sleeves as well, has Edgar Cruz. White scrunch socks for Mr. Cruz. Going to take a few steps back and get ready to put a boot into this one. That pink mouthpiece. Boot in the ball, and here we go. A high hanging kick, and guess what? Add to the total. It's 20 now touchbacks for Mr. Cruz. Great job there. Good start by Eddie Cruz. Gets his 20th touchback on the season. Going to set Long Beach up with a long field in front of them. That is a really good sign for the Tide.
And it looks like, Clay, it will be S.J. Valentine at the quarterback position. Let's see what they do here. Saw him go under center. Let's see if they start him in the shotgun or if he will go under center. But 2 backs in the backfield, what we expected to see there. And
yeah, kind of that inverted wishbone where they go pistol and then they put the 2 backs back behind Valentine, just finding some comfort for him as he's been pressed in to the quarterback duty. Going to have 80 yards out in front of Long Beach. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. Here's a fake give and a keep by Valentine trying to work off the right side, and he's in a space. 35, 40, 45. A great start to the night offensively for Long Beach. Is Valentine able to get out to his right rather quickly, pick up good yardage. He's still down as he's injured after a very nifty run. A good play fake. Faked it to the interior back. And then here he comes sprinting out to the right in a good space. A 25-yard pickup for S.J. Valentine to get things started for Long Beach.
Yeah, that's what you didn't want to do if you're the Picayune Maroon Tide defense, something that Coach Hayden will get squared away as he always does, but someone just not in where they were supposed to be.
You heard Coach Stagner talk about you're not tackling necessarily what you see. You've got to pay attention. You've got to have assignment mindset, and they're Tide not off to a great start doing that. Here's a give to Brown. Brown in room. He's across midfield to the 45 of Long Beach. So 2 really effective runs here for the Bearcats to get things started.
Yeah, Brown a really good. Really, he's a patient runner. He's got a lot more speed than it looks like he has. He can get loose and go, but credit Long Beach. We've seen games like this. Sometimes the coaches will come out and try some trickery, and they're sticking with their offense here, and it's worked well for 2 plays.
Yep, Brown 5'9", 198. Here's a give. The dive back is what you've referred to him as in the pregame, and that's Gavin Sutherland. Sutherland gonna move ahead and get a fresh set of downs for Long Beach. Going to get it to the 43-yard line of the Tide. So Long Beach doing just what they need to do tonight. Have gotten it to the Tide 43. Have reeled off a few first downs here. Really have the chains moving. This is a good start for this Bearcat offense. Valentine now will tuck under center. He's got a wide receiver to each side of the set. A fake to Sutherland, and it's Brown who will get it. And the Tide up to the task. A good stop. That's all who's going to have to tackle, I believe, with a Ghana. And just a gain of 1. Going to bring up 2nd and 9 from the 42.
Yep, under center, I formation. Again, you can run the option out of that. You have to look for that same play. He may fake it there to his dive back, and he'll be on the move for an option look here, probably this play or the next.
We will see. 2nd and 9, a kind of stumble. Ball's loose. Did the Tide get on it? Back at the Tide 46. Did Valentine able to pick up his own fumble? He was able to get back on it, Rick, and that was a fortunate play for Valentine to be able to get back on that football.
Yeah, 2 white jerseys very close in the vicinity of that football, but able to get back on it and keep his offense on the field. But got to bring up 3rd and pretty long now for the Long Beach Bearcats.
Yeah, 3rd and let's call it 14. Ball's back at the 47. Here's a fake give and a first pass going to be incomplete over his intended wide receiver's head at about the 35-yard line. That was Monson able to get back there. He has 3 tackles for a loss on the season. I believe all 3 of those have been sacks. He was able to really apply some pressure and calls that errant throw. So Tide give up some yardage but are able to get off the field. Here we'll have a punt situation.
Maroon Tide defense bends but does not break, and boy, Valentine had Scott open, but the pressure, as you mentioned, from Monson obstructed his vision.
This is a kick by Downing. Downey's hit a tough one to handle, and it won't be handled. Off the fingertips of Jordan Hathorn and wasn't able to squeeze it. Going to be fumbled away off the punt at the 23-yard line of the Tide. Long Beach will take over. It was hit, and it's a good breeze here tonight, and Jordan Hathorn just could not handle it. And so Long Beach will run their offense right back out there to the 24-yard line of the Tide. And we talk about complementary football. Offense was able to move it pretty well. Then you're able to turn the Tide over And 24 yards from pay dirt is where Long Beach will set up shop. It will be Valentine in this pistol set. Fakes it. He's looking to throw. He's got a guy caught at the 11. A beautiful connection there as Valentine able to find Scott. That's Jaden Scott with his catch at the 11. Be 1st and 10 for Long Beach from there.
Nice play call there from Long Beach, and when you've been running the football successfully, you can run play action. That time Valentine makes a nice throw, just a slant route, but he connects with it.
Valentine going to go under center now. He'll pitch it to Brown. Brown, not a whole lot of room to work with, and it'll be a tackle for a loss. Good pursuit for our Tide. There's a lot of helmets flying out to the football. That's a good early sign. We need more of that, as the tackle was eventually made by Grant Hodges. DeMario Grant Hodges will get credit for the tackle, get credit for the stop. Bring up 2nd and 12.
Really good penetration there by Mitchell Smith. He was in the backfield in a hurry.
Yeah, good call there by you. 2nd now and 13. Here's a give to the dive back. Going to get it ahead to the 10. Going to get 3 on the carry. Nice tackle on the Maroon Tide side by Zay Jackson. Let's see, there's a little discussion here maybe about this spot because I don't see a flag. Do you, Rick?
No flag. Blew a whistle.
Yep, there will be a flag. It's going to be all sides against the Tide. After a moment or two discussion, there's the flag on the far side at about the 14-yard line it laid. And so the Tide are going to get a 5-yard penalty against them. It will move it up now, Rick, to the 8. That's a bad penalty, as it will advance it inside of the 10-yard line of the Tide. 2nd down, here's a give. This is to Scott. Scott hammered, but not before he was able to get it to the 6. So look at Long Beach showing an awful lot of fight here. 7:55 to go in our opening quarter. First drive stalled out for Long Beach. Punted it. Hathorn couldn't handle it. Muffed that punt, and then their second chance at it started at the 24. Currently have it down to the 5-yard line of the Tide. Face a 3rd and 3 from there. Valentine in a shotgun. He's got Brown off his right hip. He's looking to leak out to the right. Good pursuit for the Tide. Going to run him out of bounds at about the 6. That was Colin Igana able to force Brown out. Going to be a loss on the play.
Really good team defense there that time. Linebacking core for the Maroon Tide right where they needed to be. That was Brody Kirkland, who gets there quick and allows the stoppage there from the quarterback, and Agana able to slide over. Really good team flow there by the defense.
Yep, and that's what we need to see. As Long Beach has possessed it, right? When you muff a punt, you string some first downs together, you look up, and Long Beach has had it for the full play here as we're at the 6:48 mark. Long Beach going to take a timeout. They know how big this 4th down is, Rick. As they discuss it, we will as well. It's 4th and about 7. A ball rest at the 9-yard line over on the right hash. Long Beach has nothing to lose here at all, right? You've heard their coach. He described Picayune. He wanted to say the number 1 team in a state, and then he kind of backed up from there and said the number 1 team in 6A. They're sitting at 1-6. They can throw everything at you tonight, Rick. So decisions like this, you may be prompted to go for it where you wouldn't. We'll see what Long Beach comes out of this offensive huddle as Coach Finley meeting with his group. What do you think they come out and do here, Rick?
It's going to be a tough one. As you said, you can't get too cute here. Maybe a fake give here to the dive back. But no, they're going to come out with just one back. I mean, I think you want to get it in the hands of your best player, and that's Brown.
And Brown's going to be in a pistol back behind or offset to the left. He will be back behind Valentine. There's 3 wide receivers top of the screen, 1 to the right. A pitch out to Brown. Can he make the corner? He's to the 5, down to the 2. Now, that's going to be close to the sticks, Rick. He won't score, but you can remember he can get a first down without scoring. That's going to depend on a spot on that far side. I think the Tide did the job just in time. Going to be a yard short. Tide bend, but do not break. Will take over on downs at the 3-yard line. That's where the Tide will start. Long Beach has possessed it this entire ball game. The punt was muffed, but Tide bend on their second defensive possession, but did not break at the 3. That's where the Tide will take over.
Yeah, Maroon Tide going to have to go 97 yards here, backed up pretty deep. But pretty good show here for the defense.
They got the stop that they needed, so this drive will start from the Tide 3. Colt Robertson under center will give to Dennis. Dennis is leaked out to the right. 15, will he go all the way? 25, 30, 40, up to the 45-yard line, and then some, as the 49 is where they're going to put Zay Dennis down. What a start, a 46-yard rush to get things started for Zay Dennis, the right side of the Tide line. Doing a really good job there, Ricky Whitaker.
Yeah, that's a great first down run, 46 yards. They added to those already gaudy numbers, especially in the yards per carry department there.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that number, going to get 46 with his first touch. So the Tide right outside of midfield from their own 49. Another pitch to Zay off the left side. Look at this run. 35-30, walking the near sideline. What a move, 15-10. It bought him a touchdown. What a cutback. Great vision, and he will score a 51-yarder there for Zay Dennis. Made an incredible cut at about the 18-yard line, and that allowed him to go find the end zone. So Tide made pretty quick work on a 97-yard drive there, Ricky Whitaker.
Yeah, 2 plays, man. That's great. And a really good block there from the fullback. McKinley kicks out the end. Zay, with his great vision, cuts in right behind it, and, boy, he does the rest. Several good cuts for Mr. Dennis on that run.
Good snap back, good hold. The kick from Cruz, and it's true. Eddie now 29 of 31 on PATs as he knocked home that diamond production point after. And, boy, what a brilliant cut at about the 18-yard line by Zay Dennis. And Dennis already out to a really, really nice start. You look at it, this one kind of lulled you to sleep if you were along for that first 6.5 minutes, Rick, as Long Beach possessed it. Got a few first downs. Tide finally forced a punt. Then the Tide muffed that punt. Get the Long Beach offense off the field at the 3-yard line. And then Zay Dennis did the rest.
Yep, 2-play, 36-second drive to go 97 yards, and it was all Dennis. 2 rushes for 97 yards and a touchdown. There goes that man again.
Boy, Dennis, all kinds of impressive. That's his 15th total touchdown on the year. Well over the 1,300-yard mark now for Zay Dennis. And Rick's got me a per number. That's a 48.5 per touch to get things started. Here's Cruz. He's hit a boomer again. Look at this kid, 2 yards deep in the end zone. And Rick, he's got a wind that was blowing from right to left. That's really not an aided kick there. It's not completely at his back. It was more from right to left, and Cruz able to get his 21st touchback of the season.
Yep, that's that east-southeast wind right in Eddie's face. And you mentioned it, man, on the ride over here. Cruz has taken note to us talking about his leg, and I think he's motivated by that a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun to interact with Edgar Cruz. We'll call him Eddie throughout the ball game at points. Always try to go back to that base legal name as often as we can for these youngins, but we will use some nicknames throughout. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. Here's a give to Southern. Goes and gets just a couple yards forward, made what he could out of the run. As that is Gavin Sutherland, 5'7", 180 is the junior. They really like him, like what they saw tough running a week ago against Pascagoula.
And that's not a bad first down play. It lets you see where the defense is, what are they doing, where the linebackers moving when you run that play. And I think they're going to base their their next play off of that.
That's Kirkland, Scott, and all the linebackers for the Tide at the snap. Here's a good run by Brown, and look, he's past the sticks up to the 33. Long Beach able to string together more first downs here in these first couple possessions than they had in that.
Yeah, really good open field, hard tackle there by Hawthorne. But Brown, you see it on that run. He kind of lulls you to sleep, but when he gets to the edge, he can turn on the speed.
Yep, has it to the 33. Got choked up there, Rick. But this is more first downs, more production than really Long Beach had in that opening first quarter against Pascagoula. One wide receiver to the top of the screen, two to the bottom, but it's a give to Brown. Brown in all kinds of traffic. Good job there by the Tide. That's Scott with a good stop. Amari Scott comes in leading the team in tackles with 45. Jamari Hathorne, who had the one before that, has 43. He's in second place for tackles. He was one of our impact players at the top of the broadcast. 4:25 to go here in our opening quarter. Two wides to each side in this set. Brown off the right hip of Valentine. Valentine going to try to loop it out. That is dangerous. Good play there by Zay Jackson. It's going to go incomplete, and Long Beach is just glad that Jackson didn't catch it, as he, from his end position, really read that pass well, Ricky Whitaker, and almost snagged it for a pick six.
Yeah, he did. Really good recognition there by Jackson. Moved out to the back, and Brody Kirkland helping out there. He was in his position pretty quick, too. So good defensive play again there by the Tide.
The old huddle machine showed us that was a pick six a week ago. Same route, almost the same result. Valentine rolling out to his right under all kinds of pressure. Dropped back, sacked at the 24-yard line. Good pursuit there, Rick. Who do you want to give it to? We've got Kirkland getting off the pile. Scott and Agana. Pick a guy.
I think Agana and Scott are going to split that one.
What a good job by the Tide, outnumbering the Bearcats there. It will be a punt situation. This was a moment ago the unit that wasn't able to squeeze it. That's Jordan Hathorne going to put his heels back at the Tide 40-yard line.
And Jordan did a good job of coming up to prevent it from rolling, but I wonder if the wind caught that one, that last one.
Yep, Downey's going to kick one end over end punt. Just a funny-looking ball off his foot. And going to be short, going to get out of bounds on the near side, right at midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield. So a short punt by Downey standards, and Ty going to have good field position here. Going to start it from midfield.
3:32 on the play clock here.
Tied up 7-0. Just had a 97-yard drive that consisted of two running plays by Zay Dennis, one to the right, one to the left.
Zay trying to go over the century mark on his third carry.
Wow. That's tough to do, right? Wow. Here we go. It will be Jacob Nixon approaching the line. He's the center for the Tide. You have Colt Robertson tucked in behind him. Behind Robertson is McKinley and Dennis. Here's Dennis again. Quickly up to the 39-yard line, an 11-yard gain, a pedestrian run there by Zay Dennis. Only got 11 out of it. Of course, that's in jest. That isn't a great run by most standards, but that's going to drop his per down, as it's been that kind of night for Mr. Dennis.
Yeah, and another good kick-out block from the fullback. I believe that was McKinley there again to set that edge. That's what we need to see from our fullbacks.
Yep, need that position to play well, of course, and this rushing attack. You will have Jordan Hathorne, the slot receiver, Brandon Illett, the wide receiver, to the bottom of the screen. There's McKinley rewarded with the good blocking with a give from that position. Going to go ahead to the 35 for a 4-yard pickup. Tide looking to get their second score of the night, lead it on the road tonight at Lumpkin McGee Stadium, Long Beach High School. We talked about the hospitality. Do a good job of welcoming visiting media in and assisting. Mr. Kenny here is outstanding. Here's the pitch. Patient run by Dennis, and then able to pick up momentum, pick up speed to the tune of the 23-yard line. 28-yard line goes Zay Dennis. A nice pickup will be enough to move the sticks for Zay. Got him for a 7-yard gain there. 1st and 10 for the Tide. Ball midfield between the two hashes. It rests at the 28 of Long Beach.
We got this this fan here, man, blowing that heat out on this side. That's kind of nice, man. We're going to get a little spoiled here at Long Beach.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night here as well. Here's another give to Dennis off the right side. He'll cut it up and in to the 24-yard line. Be a gain of 4 there by Dennis. And I think that run kind of speaks to the conversation him and Coach Stagner had. Everything can't be just cut out. Sometimes you're going to have to cut in and get that tough yardage. And there's a good example of Dennis on 1st down, setting the Tide up in a 2nd and 6. There's a good run by Dennis. McKinley at the fullback, offset to his right, the tailback, Jamari Hathorn, but it'll be Jordan, the cousin that gets it from the wing back, going from left to right, and a strong run by Jordan Hathorn to the 14. A good pickup there by Jordan Hathorn. Going to be a 14-yard run by Jordan from that left wing, making a good cut. Ball over on the right hash, lays at the 14 of Long Beach. Tide trying to score before the quarter break. 50 seconds left here in our opening quarter. Illett, the long wide receiver. Here's a give to Jamari Hathorn. Ball loose in the end zone. Long Beach will jump on it. Ball came loose at about the 6. Helmet on the football. Jamari Hathorn watched it go into the end zone as a helmet got right on that football, came loose, and the Bearcats able to jump on it. Jamari, unfortunately, shaken up after this play too, Rick. Still laying down on the turf at about the 6-yard line. Kind of a scary moment here for all involved. Jamari getting attention, something you just hate to see. The result of the play is what it is, but bigger concern now for all fans involved as they'll get Jamari rolled over. It's not a good look here as the stadium, really respectful crowd here at Long Beach. And then, of course, you can hear a pin drop, I'm sure, on the far side as we check on Jamari Hathorn. Tell you what, we'll take a 1-minute timeout as they tend to Jamari Hathorn, and we'll return here. Picayune Maroon Tide on top of the Bearcats, 7-0, 41 seconds left in the first quarter.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio, lighting, video, content development, and production management. With an uncompromising attention to detail and a standard of excellence that exceeds expectations, we deliver seamless events that engage, inspire, and impress. At Diamond Productions, the bar isn't set for us, it's set by us.
Back here at Lumpkin-McGee Stadium, Tide on top 7-0, but have turned it over twice here in this opening quarter. Really pumping confidence and life in a 1-6 club in Long Beach. The latest turnover fumbled into the end zone. Long Beach able to grab it and get a touchback. We'll start this drive at their own 20-yard line. Sutherland just going to go straight ahead, get a yard or two. But the Tide, Rick, have muffed the punt. Then had a good drive there, but fumble it into the end zone.
Yeah, ball security been a little bit of a struggle here tonight for the Maroon Tide. Kind of unprecedented for them. They have two turnovers here. Haven't turned the ball over a lot. Only lost 4 on the year.
Yeah, really won that turnover battle week in and week out. Here's a pass complete, a short pass, good rally to the football. Fortenberry led that charge. You can hear the horn in the background. That will end our first quarter of play. Tide lead at 7-0. We just broke, Rick, due to the injury by Jamari Hathorn. We'll try to get an update on Jamari. Down from Greg Ducker. We can do that now as we'll welcome Greg Ducker into the booth. Greg, an interesting first quarter as Long Beach has turned the Tide over a couple times already tonight.
Yeah, definitely an interesting first quarter for us as we've had a couple of turnovers, got to preach that ball security is, of course, as y'all said earlier with that punt, it just, with that wind blowing, just a mishandle there. And on the first long drive by Long Beach, we had some missed assignments, coaches getting those short up, so we're going to see what the Tide can do here in the second quarter.
And, Greg, I won't ask specifics, but I do want to know, Jamari okay down there?
Jamari's sitting up, talking to the trainers. They're checking him out and seems to be doing okay.
Okay, thank you, Greg Ducker, for our Exotic Stones sideline report. That's really good news to have Jamari up and doing what Greg Ducker described there. We'll start our second quarter. Long Beach has it at its own 25, facing a 3rd and 5. 2 wide receivers nearest to you, bottom of the screen. Pass is well behind the intended wide receiver and will be incomplete. Pretty good coverage there by Fortenberry. Was trying to find the intended wide receiver at about the 30-yard line. Falls incomplete. Going to force a punt situation here for the Bearcats.
Yeah, coverage was good there. Coach Hayden Alexis Sin, I believe that was Grayson Alls on the blitz. Got the pressure on the quarterback, so good call by him. But, well, you look back in this first quarter, Maroon Tide only possessed the ball for 3 minutes and 27 seconds of that first quarter.
Yeah, some of that was Zay Dennis taking it twice, 97 yards. And then the other has been turnover bug for the Tide in this opening quarter. Jordan Hathorn going to get away from a really good effort here on the punt. Going to drive the Tide all the way back to the 27-yard line. A good effort there by Downing, the punter for Long Beach. So Tide going to go to work from its own 27 here.
And Downing, pretty good composure there. He kind of double clutched it. And when you got big Nolan Wilson closing in on you, it still gets a good punt off.
Yeah, he did. It's like he almost just kind of reset it in his hand. I was thinking the same thing, Rick. And then he boomed it. So a great punt there by Downing. Going to have the Tide set up shop 27-yard line. Tide last possessed it, moved it well, but then had a fumble from Hathorn, Jamari, that went into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the toss out to the left side, and Dennis across the 40 rather quickly. A good run, 13-yard pickup by Zay Dennis off that left side. Good job by the O-line over there on that left side for the Tide. And that is Edgar Cruz, Javian Bolden, and then the center, Jacob Nixon, to round out on the right side of the line. Right guard, A.K. Burnett, and then, of course, the right tackle, big Mitchell Smith. Mitchell is that gigantic human nearest to you on the screen. Here's a give, and for the first time really tonight, Long Beach did a good job getting in that gap, not allowing the Tide to advance it, but maybe a yard or two. A nice play. 70 for them is a really good-looking player. That's Simpson. Gavin Simpson, 6 foot 280, made a nice stop. Going to bring up 2nd and 7. McKinley at the fullback. He's been there a lot tonight already. The toss to Dennis. Dennis makes a cutback. He's got one guy to beat. He will just straight out run him at the 20-yard line. Young man had an angle on him. Didn't matter. Dennis going to outrun that defender for a 63-yard score. Boy, Zay Dennis has been electric the last 2 weeks. Late flag out. We'll see what this is about. I believe it's after the play. I think the touchdown will stand. We will see. It's currently 13-0, 10:32 left after Dennis with a 63-yard touchdown run. But let's see what the hanky is about. Boy, this vision and then just straightaway speed from Zay Dennis. Ran away from a would-be tackler from the secondary. I mean, had an angle on him, and the angle just went away as A. Dennis with a really nice run. It will have to be an after-the-fact penalty as Edgar Cruz is indeed lining up for the point after. Eddie, 28 of 30 on these coming in as we await our Diamond Production point after. 1 for 1 on the night. I think it's going to be enforced on the kickoff, Rick. Here is our kick from Cruz, and it is squared away perfectly off his foot. 14-0, the Tide lead it as we'll turn it over to Ricky Whitaker for our Diamond Production drive summary.
Maroon Tide goes 73 yards in 3 plays, take a minute 15 seconds off the clock, and most of that was that 63-yard rush by Mr. Dennis for his second touchdown of the night. Mr. Dennis on the night, 8 rushes, 198 yards, averaging just under 25 yards per touch.
And so the penalty, let's see where they're going to put this. This may be interesting for the Tide. It actually is going to go against Long Beach. And look where Cruz is going to get the kick this one from. Going to move it up and put it down at the 45 of Long Beach. If you wanted to get cute here, Rick, it wouldn't cost you much to try an onside kick. Or do you want Eddie to try to kick a field goal from here?
I think Eddie's going to try. He's looking at the uprights to see where they are. He's measuring the wind in his head right now. I think that's what Eddie's thinking.
Yep, he's got it teed up at the 45 of the Bearcats. See if he doesn't just boom it through. See how far he can kick it here.
He may see if he can hit one of those tackling dummies out behind the goalpost there.
That may be what he's aiming at. Look at this. He has kicked it right through the uprights on the kickoff. Oh, Eddie Cruz going to go for a touchback, but he had that in mind when he had it teed up. That was fun to watch. Pooched it right through there, hung it up perfectly.
The players loved it. Fortenberry loved it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to pull for him. Tide lead at 14-0. Hasn't been clinical football, Rick, with the 2 turnovers, but the Tide have gotten it done to lead this one 14-0 at this point.
Yeah, really dominant on offense. I mean, I think Greg Ducker and I were on the same page there with the muffed punt, but yeah, you had the turnover, and we don't know what happened to Hawthorne there. Just hope he's okay, but you take that away, and I think it's a different ball game. Maroon Tide defense just need to continue to be dominant.
Got the 2 backs back behind Valentine and his pistol. Look at this tackle made. Really good job there by Scott. Samari Scott leading tackler for the Maroon Tide. Keeps stacking them on top of one another.
And Long Beach really, every possession they've had on offense, they've done the same thing. First down, they're trying to just get positive yards. We've seen it at the dive back a few times, that time in Brown's hand, trying not to get too far behind the sticks.
Low snap, going to put it behind schedule, and Alt showed up in a bad mood. Nice tackle by Alt. He got help on the play as well by Scott. They'll split that tackle, be a 4-yard loss back to the 16 of Long Beach. So Long Beach in reverse here. Fortenberry, the corner at the bottom of the screen. One-on-one coverage for Fortenberry. See if he can get a pick here on a ball thrown out his way. Looking this way. Underneath route, though, incomplete. Nobody had a shot at it. The nearest Tideman was Grant Hodges, but it was incomplete, nowhere near. So with 9:21 to go in our second quarter, Tide on top 14-0. Run the punt unit back on, and Downey has shown a big leg. Let's see what he can do with this punt attempt. Going to put his heels at his own 3.
And had Scott open, if he catches it, I think they're still 5-6 yards short, but quarterback just couldn't get there. And again, that's been the pressure from the Maroon Tide front.
And that was Jaden Scott, the intended receiver. Here's one of these end-over-end type kicks, and actually going to get a Picayune bounce. Going to go backwards on the hop and hop back across midfield to the 48 of Long Beach. So Tide going to set up at the 48-yard line of Long Beach. Going to have a short field, some of that complimentary football we talk about so often when the Tide are really playing well. Tide going to have just 48 yards in front of them and another touchdown. 9:13 left here before the half, our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Mitchell Smith going to be covered up here by Wilkins. That's your tight end nearest to you. It's McKinley at the fullback. It's a fake and a throw over the middle. Open but dropped as Jordan Hathorn had it in his hands and dropped it at the 25. Probably going to score, Ricky Whitaker. A brilliant play design and call, but Jordan for the second time tonight, once on a punt and then here, just unable to squeeze it. Good play for the Tide, just falls incomplete.
Yeah, really good throw there by Colt, and I think we're both thinking the same thing. This is a good time to take a shot here through the air, and Hawthorne just couldn't corral that one.
Yeah, unfortunate for Jordan. He's been a good receiver, whether he's lined up at the wing, wide receiver, or tailback. He's got pretty sure hands, just dropped that one. Dennis pounded at the 45. That's probably the hardest hit he's taken tonight. Going to get 3. Those 3 were tough to come by. A nice tackle made from the Long Beach perspective. Good hit applied.
And that will put Mr. Dennis over the 200-yard mark.
Wow, back-to-back weeks, incredible numbers out of Zay Dennis. Ball have it at the 45, 3rd and 7. Here's Dennis again, and he's got plenty of room this time. 30, 20, 10, touchdown goes Zay Dennis once again. Mr. Dennis going to sprint ahead for a touchdown run. A very nice run there by Zay Dennis. 45-yard touchdown run for Zay Dennis. Boy, Rick, he just keeps piling them up, doesn't he?
Oh, man, he's been great tonight, Clay.
We'll wait the diamond production point after off the toe of Eddie Cruz. Here'll be the hold by Rayburn. It's been good in that spot, does it again. And look at Mr. Automatic. Eddie Cruz going to knock it home. 21-0 for our Tide. Tide kind of off to a slow start tonight, Rick, but have begun to settle in and have gotten it out to a 21-0 margin with 8:24 to go here in the second quarter.
Yep, Maroon Tide only needed 3 plays again to go 52 yards, and it is capped off by another long run. 3 long runs by Dennis tonight. He's got one from 51, he's got one from 63, and now he's got one from 45. 3 touchdowns on the night. Great night from Mr. Dennis. 10 rushes, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns.
So that per number last week was just incredible, but he's better than that up to this point, isn't he?
He certainly is. 24.6 is his per number.
What did he do, 21 last week?
21 last week.
Good grief, Ricky Whitaker. That's incredible.
He was at 322 on the game, I believe, just alone, and he's knocking on that here with a lot of time to go here in the second quarter.
Well done by that O-line. And Dennis has been special, Rick, the last 2 weeks, but he's getting a running start before he's having to really make a choice. Here's a line drive kick from Cruz. Going to test out the return team for the first time tonight, and the Tide up to the task. Just a 7-yard return by the Bearcats. Good job by the Tide. Getting down there first was Grayson Alls and then also Cam Quinn. So Long Beach for the first time in a long time not going to set up shop from their own 20. We get it at the 27 to get things started. That was a line drive effort by Cruz. And look, Long Beach is in an unfortunate situation. Their signal caller for most of the season was hurt, so Valentine's been pressed in a quarterback play. And against this defense, it's just going to be tough tonight. Kind of figured it would be. But the beginning phases for Long Beach were able to move the football. Here's a pass that's complete to the 33-yard line. Paid for it after the fact, but that was a good grab And a nice play on first down will set up 2nd and 3. That was Scott again. That's been Valentine's favorite target.
And boy, Scott missed one. We got lucky there, Clay. He had Carlos Finch Jr., number 7, on this left side. There was no one near him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kind of saw that flash as well. Astute point made by you. Here's a toss to Brown. Brown trying to make the corner has 40, 45, midfield. Look at him go up to the 42-yard line by Brown. Great blocking downfield by this group of wide receivers, really walling off the defensive backs for the Tide. And Brown with a big run to the 42-yard line of the Tide.
Brown just a solid guy. He's listed at 5'9", 198. Looks a bit bigger than that. Looks like he's pushing that 2 bill mark, but another good, strong run. Runs well behind his pads.
He's been fun to watch each and every year. It seems like we've been following him since his 9th grade season with the Bearcats. He's got it again. Strong runner, as you mentioned, barrels forward to about the 34-yard line, depending if he gets a favorable spot, which he won't. They'll push it back to the 36. Be 2nd and 5. 7 minutes to go before our Animal Health halftime show, Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Be interesting to hear that Pearl River Central score. Dr. Alan Smith helping that staff this season. Got a tough one on the road tonight over at Pascagoula.
Yeah, we call it this separation week, and that's what it's going to be. Somebody's going to be 1-2, and the team's going to be 2-1. Keeping their playoff seeding hopes alive.
Yeah, that big pack kind of between these two clubs, right? You have Picayune, who came in a flawless 2-0. Then you had Long Beach 0-2, and then the rest of the district 1-1. As you said, going to find some things out tonight. Tide currently up 21-0, 6:33. Long Beach with another run off the left side have themselves in a 3rd and 2 and going to pick up the first down. Willie maybe spoke too soon. Flying in there was Kirkland, but I think he got there maybe a yard too late. Whitehead going to say first down. That's not what the chains say, so that's interesting. He's already motioned first down, but the chains had it about a half yard short.
Yeah, the referee on this sideline here was, I don't think he was too sure he got it either, but a nice cut initially by Brown, but I thought he was maybe a half yard short.
Yep, I did too. I would have liked to see maybe a further look at that, maybe the chains pulled and stretched, but it will not be. It'll be 1st and 10. Long Beach now at the 31 of the Tide. Valentine with a high ball and almost picked. Went through the intended hands of his wide receiver and almost found a Tide defensive back at about the 20-yard line. But there is a flag laying on the field at the 35-yard line. What'd you see there, Ricky Whitaker?
If it was pass interference, it wasn't very much. We'll have to see if that's what they call.
Can't be that, can it, Rick? I mean, I just didn't see a whole lot. No, going to be holding against Long Beach. So trying to keep pressure off of Valentine. One of those guys held. You know, Nolan Wilson's played so good over the last 2 weeks.
He has. He's played great. And if you look back on the monitor here at our replay, you'll be able to see what they're doing to him. There's a guy going at his legs and a guy going high on him. That's every play. They're double teaming him, which means someone should be running free on that defensive line.
And you can see Wilson after that play kind of holding his hands, palms up to the Picayune sideline, kind of about that tactic. Here's a physical tackle made. Going to be maybe a half-yard loss, and that was a really, really nice defensive effort. That's Cam Quinn coming in and making that stop.
Yeah, and I think he's got a fair point there. I mean, if in most football on any level, if someone's engaged with you up top, you can't hit the guy in the legs. You can't chop block. Chop blocks one-on-one are legal, but not if you're engaged, and I think that's what Nolan was thinking about.
2nd and long here, and there's going to be a whistle. Timeout taken by someone. It'll be the Maroon Tide. Tide going to burn a timeout on defense. Tied up 21-0. We're on the campus of Long Beach High School, or at Lumpkin McGee Stadium, right outside Tony McGill press box here. Tide going to take a timeout, Rick. We'll keep it right here, be able to kind of discuss what's going on. Tide a bit of a slow start when you factor in 2 fumbles in the first quarter, one being a muff punt and then a fumble that occurred really at about the 5-yard line, maybe the 6. But the momentum of the ball took Long Beach into its own end zone. They were able to recover a Tide fumble from Jamari Hathorn. The big news on that play was kind of the health of Jamari. We'll get an update from him later.
Long Beach had chances. I mean, had the muff punt in the Maroon Tide red zone area, just couldn't get any points there.
See what the Tide can do. Have been good since that point. A slow start should certainly clean that up. With a better finish to this half so far, up 21-0. Here's a nice pass, good play design. Brown's got it. He's got the first down and then some. He's going to finally be run out of bounds, but Rick, not before. He has gotten it down to the 9-yard line of the Tide. There's a flag on the far side. Tide going to hope for it to be an infraction against the Bearcats because they took that from the 41 down to the 9.
Yeah, and that was Carlos Finch Jr., again, number 7. We've called his name. Had a crackback block on someone in the Picayune Maroon Tide secondary. It maybe could have been in the back. Hard to see from this angle, but that may be the call there. And if so, it's going to erase what was a great play.
Yeah, it was such a big pickup, the biggest play of the night offensively for Long Beach, and it will indeed be against the Bearcats. So that's going to put Long Beach in reverse. And we'll see exactly how far. They'll drop it back down at the 47-yard line.
Well, it didn't look like a block in the back on our replay here, but maybe there was something else there.
Well, they're not going to be happy if it wasn't something pretty obvious because they being Long Beach, that was their biggest play from scrimmage that I can remember. Certainly the biggest play in a long time for the Bearcats. And it erases a first and goal situation that was going to take place down at the 9-yard line. It will not be that. They'll re-snap it at the 47, and it'll be second and very long. The Tide 47, they'll give it to Brown. He stood up and smoked. That's big Nolan Wilson getting in on the action. Weren't able to block him that time, and he crushed Brown, did the 4-star Alabama commit, Nolan Wilson.
Yeah, you go back to the play before, Clay. I think what the Maroon Tide defensive staff is going to be talking about is when 22 leaks out of the backfield, we got to certainly know where he's at.
Yeah, because he found himself pretty wide open. He's one of those guys you kind of circle pregame. Hey, we're not going to let 22 hurt us tonight. 2 wides to the bottom of the screen, 1 to the top. Valentine has spun it a couple times, looking to throw down a far sideline. Good coverage and going to be an incomplete pass. That was really nice coverage on that far side for the Maroon Tide. I'm trying to see if that was Scott out in coverage from his linebacker position. He'll have to turn and let me identify him a bit better if it was. Let's see. I think it was, Rick. I think that was Scott turning and running in coverage there. Either way, it's going to set up a punt situation. We'll see Downing again. He's going to put his heels back at his own 39-yard line over on the right hash. Jordan Hathorn and what Rick's already described as a tough win tonight to catch a punt, standing at his 10. Will most likely get away from this one and will. It's going to take a good bounce. Downing going to kill it for his club at the 6. That was a good effort by Downing. So it is going to be killed at the 6. That's where the Tide will start their drive. A good punt by Downing.
We're going to have just enough time here, Clay, to try to run most of this clock out and go into the halftime here.
Good point, and see what the Tide can do. That's 4:18 remaining with a 21-0 lead. You'd love to get that next score and get it out to, of course, 28-0 before the half. Really, you hate to say this, Rick, but the goal of this thing and pretty early in the second half would be a running clock. I mean, that's the reality of a 1-6 against a 6-1 in district play. You'd like to be able to pull some of your guys out and for this thing to be shortened with a running clock. Jordan Hathorn with a good effort from the wingback position. He'll get it about 7 yards forward, bring up a 2nd and 3. They'll spot it at the 12-yard line of the Tide. See Dennis with a monstrous first half here. Huge rushing total out of Dennis, over the 200-yard mark already tonight. Dennis with the tall sweep over on the left side, going to have enough for the first down. He'll get it to the 17-yard line, be a 5-yard pickup there by Dennis. Just continues to chunk the yardage together, does Zay Dennis and his offensive unit. 1st and 10 for the Tide. Ball at the 17. Over on the left hash. They're taking us in audio only, going from left to right in front of us. Here in a little bit of room, not a whole lot for Dennis to work with. He'll get 3 yards off to the right side. A good individual effort. A nice tackle made by the Bearcats in a tough spot. That was a good individual effort made by that Bearcat. Get him mentioned after a play like that. When you're outside in a wind, Rick, you have to keep tucking everything away, and so when you need it to speak to it, it's not right where you want it to be.
That was Dylan Foxworth, linebacker.
Yeah, Mr. Foxworth with a good play. He's made a couple of those already tonight. Bunched up, and then he pops out the other side of it momentarily, does Zay Dennis. Going to be a minimal gain. I was seeing if he could make the corner after he pops out of a big bunch of Bearcats, but he was gathered back up and dropped after just a 1-yard gain.
Maroon Tide, maybe their first 3rd down of the night so far, Clay.
That's what I was just about to say, Rick. We kind of read our minds. We've been doing this for a good bit together, thankfully. Kind of thinking along the same lines. 3rd and 6 for the Tide. Ball at the 20 of the Tide. A cut back, and that's Jordan Hathorn. He's got it to the 26. That's going to be short of the yardage needed for the first down by about a yard, I believe, Rick. I believe it's going to be a 4th and 1, but you never know with the spots. So we'll wait and see how it looks once it's officially laid down. And it will be 4th and let's call it half a yard. What did the Tide do here? Don't budge. They refuse to punt it. This is interesting, too. Rick, kind of go for it. 4th and 1. Ball's on your own 26-yard line. What confidence, and why not? Here's Jordan Hathorn. Hathorn's got plenty for the first down. Going to get it to the 36. That was a statement-type go for it there. That was Cody Stagner telling his offensive line, hey, you better go get it. Like, I'm going to be embarrassed if you don't right here. 4th and half of football. Kind of challenged his guys, and they provided the movement for the first down there by Jordan Hathorn.
Yep, confidence in his group, goes and gets it.
Ball at the Tide 37 after that nice run by Hathorn. Here's a pass attempt by Cole Robertson. Hangs it up beautifully for Dennis. It will fall incomplete. Dennis tried to grab it about the 33-yard line, turned his body adjusting to it and just unable to gather it in traffic. Hung up there nicely, though, to allow Dennis to kind of run underneath it. A late adjustment at the very end and just didn't catch it from Dennis's perspective. Going to fall incomplete at the 33-yard line. Trying to take a shot there. I liked it. 2nd and 10, the 37 of the Tide. Here we'll go back to the running attack. Dennis across the 40 to the 42. About a 4 or 5 yard pickup there by Dennis. So now, Rick, time becomes a factor. 33 seconds left in the half. 21-0. Tide started this drive with about 4 minutes and some change. Now to the 33-second mark and only have it to their own 42. So the math kind of starts to work against you here. You saw the pass to Dennis. That ball hung up for a long time, and Dennis almost able to grab it at the end.
Yeah, I think the wind's been in, we've said that a lot tonight, been in factor on those longer passes like that. But Maroon Tide 7 plays into this drive now, getting ready to run play number 8. But Long Beach defense, give them a little bit of credit. The big gaping holes that Zay's been finding in the first and most of the second quarter starting to close up a little bit.
Yeah, their color analyst on their call, a former coach, a former Division I coach, and he talks about how hard this group plays. I concur. They do. They play above and beyond the effort of a 1-6 team. Tip your cap to the staff for Long Beach to get that kind of effort. Coach Delaney was the color analyst on that Bearcats broadcast. Here is our 3rd and 6, a poor pitch, and Fortenberry picks it up, and now look at him, midfield 45 of the Bearcats. What an athletic play by Fortenberry, as the pitch just really didn't get to him, or Fortenberry kind of took a different route on the tall sweep than Cole Robertson's used to with Zay Dennis, and so the ball laid there for half a second. Then Fortenberry retreated, picked it up, and turns it into a chunk run to the 46 of Long Beach. So that worked out rather nicely for the Tide.
It did. Turns a busted play almost into a 14-yard gain. And credit Fortenberry and even the offensive line. When they saw that play turn back, they were very careful not to block in the back there. Those are easy block in the back type situations, but hung in there and going to have some time. You got 26 seconds. You got time for maybe 2-3 plays.
Really like Fortenberry when he sneaks in that backfield. Probably going to have to do more of that if Jamari Hathorn's out of commission for the night. I like that he wears those pink gloves. He's got somewhat of the same build as Zay Dennis, so any kind of tip like that for my old eyes is nice to see.
Yeah, a lot of these Maroons. I've looked at our Long Beach's maroon jerseys, and I'm like, who was that wearing 74? That's not Nolan. I'm like, that's the wrong team. But very, very similar color maroons here. You get used to seeing that maroon and think that that's one of your players out there.
Yeah, we don't need to see many that look like Nolan Wilson dressed in anything but our shade of that maroon and white. As look at it, the Tide going to come out of this timeout, Rick. 26 seconds left. It's kind of a test here, too. Can you put one on the board before the half for this Tide offense? Zay Dennis back in at the tailback. You've Kane McKinley at the fullback. A fake, and now Colt Robertson looking to throw. He's got a guy in all kinds of traffic, incomplete. 5 Bearcats around Jordan Hathorn, and I had to count before I said it because I didn't want to mess up the helmet count, but they did a good job of bracketing up Jordan Hathorn, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, really good coverage there by Long Beach, and Colt trying to thread the needle there and really close to doing just about that. It was that last guy got a hand on it.
Yeah, he had to fit that into a tight spot. Did good not to get it picked off. That's going to be Junior James, the wide receiver out widest in this. There's 2 wide receivers to that side, and it is James who has it come in his hands and back out. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. James just not able to squeeze it at the 40. Incomplete pass. 16 seconds to go here before our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. See if the Tide throw it one more time, Rick. Trying to think of a time this year where we've thrown it 3 times in a row. May see it here.
Yeah, and Colt Robertson, heck of a baseball player, threw the fastball, and just too much for James to corral. Hit him right in the hands, though.
Yeah, Junior James, one of those 2-sport athletes, a heck of a soccer kid is Junior James. Going to be a timeout. Bearcats going to burn one, so just going to give the Tide a chance to think it over a bit more.
Bearcats not going to take any of their timeouts with them into the half. Maroon Tide maybe got 2 plays left here, still have 1 timeout left, does Coach Stagner.
Yeah, so kind of chess match here right before the break. If you're Long Beach, you're feeling okay about this. You know, you've heard Coach Finley on his coaches show talk about the effort. And Rick, we kind of go from a point of no moral victories. The Tide program have built themselves where you just can't, right? I mean, you're a contender each year in the 6A level, but Long Beach in games like this really want to hang around, grow, learn some things. They love to win it, don't get me wrong, but I think they'd be lying as a staff that didn't say there are some more victories to be had, and Long Beach has played well in stretches of this first half.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you, as a defensive player, you give up 3 touchdown runs of 65, 45, and 53 yards and come out and start playing pretty well down 21-0, I think that speaks to some of that.
Here's the Tide. 2 wide receivers top of the screen. Kind of a stretch give here, a different type of running play. And Long Beach was up to the task, only going to pick up 5, going to bring up 4th and 5. Haven't seen that run to Zay very often, Rick. I'm thinking maybe only the second or third time we've kind of gone with that stretch run where Colt Robertson, the quarterback, gets beyond that guard, kind of gives it to the tailback between the guard and the tackle over on that left side. But Long Beach did a good job against it. 4th and 5, 8 seconds left. You've got time, if you wanted to let Colt Robertson throw it into the end zone. He can reach it from there. It's going to be at the 43. There's a banged-up Bearcat and banged-up Tidesman, both kind of hobbling over to the sidelines.
And not a bad play thought there. You think, why would you hand it up the middle down, 3rd and long there? But Long Beach defense been really getting out quickly to the outside, almost moving out there ahead of the snap count. You think maybe, hey, we've seen Zay bust big runs before. He gets a little bit of a crease there. He's got a chance to break one. So not a bad design, but good defense by Long Beach.
Yeah, especially with that down and distance, right? You probably had the helmet count you wanted for that kind of big chunk run from Zay Dennis. Just didn't work out. Bearcats made a nice play. You're going to have Fortenberry, who's going to come to the side near Ricky and I. He's at the bottom of your screen. You've got 2 wide receivers to the top. One long back behind Colt Robertson. That's what we will see. He's going to go to Fortenberry. Well-thrown football. Can he squeeze it? Great coverage by the Bearcats at the end of this. Going to be an interception in the end zone. Good coverage at the end as you had a Bearcat really close down the space, as that one was about to fall in a lap of Fortenberry, but it did not. Going to be it's going to be a pick at the end. That's going to be Colt's first interception of the year. That's one of those good interceptions. We kind of talked about that last week, one of the ones that you can live with because it's going to end the half. You got it in the end zone where you wanted it. Just credit the Bearcats defensively able to pick that one off.
Yeah. And really, as we go into this first half, we'll take maybe not. They're going to talk this thing over.
Yep, as it came in on a defensive penalty, but I don't see any flags. Anxious to see what's going on here. Coach Stagner not happy at all. We'll get Greg Ducker to give us a call here before the break. They're trying to get the band stuff off of the field, but in doing so, the Tide are also headed to the locker room now. So what an oddity.
So the interception's not going to count then, right?
I don't know. I don't know why you would take the interception off the board.
Or was it a pass interference? Is that?
I don't think that was the call. Let's see. Greg Ducker, can you give us maybe some insight on the confusion down on the field?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I think that there was some frustration with the band trying to come home and the team trying to get off the field and a little bit of interference there. But I think that's what's going on, guys. But a good second quarter of ball by the Tide. And just an update on Moto. He's standing up, walking around, talking, so he's doing well. Looking at the replay of that, his head bounced pretty hard off the ground on that turnover, so we're glad to see that young man doing okay.
Absolutely. Good report by you on our Exotic Stones sideline report. Moto, of course, is Jamari Hathorn. We'll refer to him as Moto. He was the young man that was injured carrying the football, that fumble that took place where he laid on the turf for a while, Rick. And we'll work at the half. I'm going to get up and leave you here in a moment. I'm going to go try to kind of find out what that was right there at the half. That was an odd play.
So that there was an interception, but did he step out of bounds in the back of the end zone? Because they blew the whistle to stop it?
Yeah, what happened there, and I think it was honestly a poor whistle and he indicated as soon as the interception took place in the end zone, a touchback. Well, you want to give the young man a chance to return the football, and so I think Coach Finley was saying and arguing for it to be an inadvertent whistle. But I'll go back and try to find out exactly what happened. But as soon as he took that pick and kind of his momentum took him into the end zone, you saw the line judge call it a touchback, which Coach Finley was none too happy with. But we'll get some further explanation on that at the half when I step away from you here in our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Rick, let's get a summary before we get into some other details here on our half.
Kind of a rough start for the Maroon Tide. Longbeach punts on their first possession. Picayune fumbles that punt. That puts Longbeach inside the red zone. They're unable to capitalize on it. Maroon Tide get the ball back. Zay Dennis goes 51 yards for a touchdown to put the Maroon Tide up 7-0. Turnover on downs from Long Beach on their next possession. Fumbled in the Maroon Tide's red zone on their next possession. Keeps it 7-0. 2 more punts by Long Beach and 2 more long runs by Zay Dennis, one from 63 yards and one from 45 yards. Puts us 21 here at the half, and we had the last possession that was just weird all the way around, but Maroon Tide unable to get any points there. Took the ball over with 4 minutes and change to play and shot at the end zone, but was intercepted. So Maroon Tide up 21-0 here to go into our Animal Health Clinic halftime show. Long Beach Band been trying to get on the field. Seemed like most of the night they're going to get their chance here now.
Yep, and this going to be interesting in the second half to see what the Tide do. You know, you kind of mentioned a slow start. What will be the challenge at the half, and how will the Tide come out of the locker room and play? 21-0, certainly a dominant score, but there's been stretches of this ball game that haven't maybe been as dominant as you would have expected. Maybe that's just our really, really high expectations of what this program is. We'll hear from you, Rick, about the band, and then we'll go to our first break here for the Animal Health Clinic halftime show.
Yeah, if you're taking in from our live stream here on the YouTube channel, you are looking at the Maroon Tide Marching Band. Tonight we welcome to the Maroon Tide Marching Band. Directors of the band are John Cockrell, Colton Powell, Brandon Hutchinson, DJ Carpenter, Lacey Seal, Patricia Milton, David Kersey, Cheryl Espino, and Kevin Whitlow. We appreciate what those folks do. Tonight the band will perform their contest show titled The Castaways. Band is under the direction of drum majors Sam Min and Cadence Cecil. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Since 2017, Cruz Law Firm has proudly served the people of South Mississippi with dedication, skill, and results. Whether you are facing a complex legal battle or simply need trusted guidance, our team will work tirelessly to deliver the outcome you deserve. Bill and his experienced team handle a wide range of legal matters, from real estate closings to personal injury, and from wills and probate to criminal defense. We've got you covered. When life gets complicated, we're here to simplify the process and fight for you. With 2 convenient locations in Pearl River County, Cruz Law Firm is ready to stand by your side. Call 769-242-2500 to schedule a consultation for your specific need. That's 769-242-2500, because your future is worth fighting for.
Exotic Stone specializes in a variety of natural and manufactured stone and has proudly provided exceptional service, quality work, and low prices to the residents of Pearl River County and beyond for the past 17 years. They have 2 locations, 6895 Highway 11 in Carriere or 1171 Highway 90 in Bay St. Louis. Exotic Stones is ready to support all your commercial and residential projects. Give Angela Burmaster a call at 504-606-3170 or stop by one of their convenient locations to view their selection or to request a quote, and you'll be happy that you made Exotic Stones your choice. Pit Lane Oil Change, located at 401 Highway 11 in Picayune, is a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the area for 15 years in the same location. They are a full-service oil change shop, servicing cars, trucks, and even servicing diesel trucks. Pit Lane is a Carfax top-rated service center. They offer new oil filter, air filter inspection, wiper blade inspection, power steering fluid top-off, check transmission fluid, coolant antifreeze top-off, and so much more. Their new hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and closed on Saturdays. Stop by Pit Lane Oil Change today and let them be your personal pit crew.
Healthy pets, happy people, exceptional medicine, compassionate care. That's our motto at the Animal Health Clinic in Picayune. Located at 500 Kelly Road, we are equipped with the latest veterinary technology and provide a full menu of animal health services, including after-hours emergencies. Dr. Alan Smith invites you to join our clinic family by checking out our website at ahcpicayune.com or calling us at 601-799-1300.
Welcome into the Animal Health Clinic Picayune Maroon Tide halftime show. Long Beach, Mississippi is the site of tonight's district contest between the Maroon Tide and the Long Beach Bearcats. Tide lead this contest at the half by a score of 21-0. We gave you the drive summaries before our halftime show, and just looking at some numbers on the night, Zay Dennis, another encore performance from last week, 15 rushes, 263 yards, 3 rushing TDs. Jordan Hawthorne's pitched in 3 for 26 yards. Darius Fortberry's had a carry for 12 yards. And, boy, it's been mainly all Zay Dennis again tonight in this contest. And Maroon Tide offense has been off to a great start, had a couple of turnovers. Maybe the score could be a little better than that. But credit Long Beach. They haven't got in the end zone, but have been able to put some drives together, picking up several first downs. Junior Brown's had a pretty good night. And as we mentioned, if you joined us late, Long Beach without their starting quarterback who was hurt against Gaucher a few weeks back. That's Derek McDonald, the sophomore. So S.J. Valentine, their standout wide receiver, has been doing the quarterback duties last couple of weeks and hasn't done a bad job. He's been serviceable tonight for the Bearcats, but that kind of gets you caught up here. And we'll take a look at some scores around the league. Darren Usdale unable to join us tonight, not going to be with us this Friday or next Friday, has pastoral duties that he is attending to. So doing God's work there, but we certainly miss him. We'll have him back for the last game is what we're hoping. But we'll take a look at some scores now as we go around the district. 2-0 Picayune, we got 0-2 Long Beach, and then everybody else kind of in the middle there at 1-1. So we're going to pull some things up and see what's going on here around our district. We'll look at 7A as well. I know 7A is always appealing to everyone as well. This thing pulled up a windy night here in Long Beach. 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of the east-southeast. Cool fall night. So we got second quarter, Pascagoula all over the Puerto Central Blue Devils, 35-0. Hancock Hawks and Gaucher Gators tied at 14 in the second quarter. And looking at the other side of 6A, pretty interesting matchup as well. George County Rebels all knotted up with the Hattiesburg Tigers at 21. That's also a game that is showing in the second quarter. We'll scroll down and take a look at 7A here. Got a tight one brewing on the coast. Ocean Springs Greyhounds lead West Harrison 28-21. St. Martin Yellow Jackets all over Harrison Central 20-0. And Gulfport in the second quarter 14-0 over the Biloxi Indians. So that'll get you caught up on scores around our district and around the coast. We appreciate you listening, taking us in. Maroon Tide band now going to exit the field, and we'll see the Longbeach Bearcat marching band. We appreciate you listening. Talking Ball Y'all Media Group, bringing you Maroon Tide football, Animal Health Clinic halftime show here. We're about halfway through. We're going to take one more commercial break. Be back in 2 minutes.
Hi, this is Sandy Kane Smith. I'm running to serve as your next Pearl River County Tax Assessor Collector. I've been responsible for managing over 100 employees, multi-million-dollar budget, and audits across all areas of county government. I will make sure you will get a fair assessment, fully staffed office, and bring back hometown customer service. Thank you for allowing me to serve the last 16 years as your Board of Supervisor. I truly appreciate your confidence and support, but on November the 4th, I need your help. Your vote makes the difference. This is Sandy Kane Smith, and I will see you at the polls.
Paid for by Sandy Kane Smith for Tax Assessor Collector.
Tucked away in the woodlands of Pearl River County is where you will find the Henry Smith House and its sister property, River Oak Manor. From an elegant Victorian estate to a sleek, cozy farmhouse, these two stunning venues are perfect for weddings, events, or a weekend escape. The properties offer serenity with a genuine and unique experience among pristinely beautiful grounds. Experience southern charm, modern comfort, and unforgettable moments, all in one gorgeous destination. River Oak Manor is breaking ground for continued expansion for wedding and event accommodations and are booking reservations for 2026 and beyond. Visit bearriveroakmanor.com and start planning for your perfect getaway today.
Making decisions on when and where to further your education is a big step in life. So let Pearl River Community College be the destination for you. Pearl River offers the first 2 years of any major and over 42 career and technical programs. They have 3 locations to better serve your educational needs. The Hancock Center at 454 Highway 90 Suite D in Waveland. The Forest County Center at 5448 Highway 49 South in Hattiesburg. And the main campus located at 101 Highway 11 North in Poplarville. Pearl River Community College. Roll, River, roll.
Hello, football fans. Devin Smith here with Remax Premier Group in Picayune. It's August, and that means one thing. It's football season. Our area schools have worked so hard to give us all something to be excited about. I take great pride in my football roots in Pearl River County, and I'm honored to serve our people. I look forward to helping residents, both old and new, make Pearl River County their home. I would love to help you with any and all of your real estate needs. You can contact me at our office, 601-798-3399 or 601-347-2641, or you can catch me in the stands cheering on my favorite players under those Friday night lights.
All right, folks, we're back at your Picayune Maroon Tide Animal Health Clinic halftime show. We appreciate Dr. Alan Smith and his crew sponsored our halftime show. We're under 6 minutes here. Longbeach Band getting ready to do their set here on the stage, and Clay Sweet going to join me back at the half. Clay, I gave some scores from around our district, and I failed to mention Poplarville up 22-21. Oh, sorry, is that right?
No, I don't
think
believe
I switched
so,
over.
Rick. Yeah,
Something switched over.
I think, let's see, I can get back off into that Talking Ball Y'all group text and get us a number on that. Poplarville's up 28-0 at the half.
Up 28-0 at the half. A few interesting scores that we talked about. Pascagoula all over Carrier, 35-0, but 14-14, Gaucher and Hancock was a really interesting battle there. That could determine a lot for playoff seedings. And then another one on the other side of 6A, we got a 21-21 ball game between George County and Hattiesburg.
Oh, that's an interesting score then. Word was George County was starting to play better football, and that certainly kind of holds up. Hattiesburg's been hot lately, so that's interesting. What score did you have for Pascagoula and Pearl River Central?
Yeah, that was the first one I gave. 35-0 was that score. And, boy, I apologize. I don't know what happened to my score bug. It went back in time here. Another interesting score, Clay, on the 7A ranks, 28-21, Ocean Springs over West Harrison at the half. And Gulfport up 21-0 on Biloxi. That's now turned to 28-0. So that's two teams that we think are going to have some say-so there. We'll do something a little bit different. I'll get Clay's input on this. We started last week, if you took in our half, had Darren Usdale pick 5 games. He went 3-2 in those games. The 3 games he's picked this week, we had number 8 Ole Miss against 13-ranked Oklahoma. Mr. Usdale took Oklahoma in that one, and then Vandy and Missouri. Missouri number 15, Vandy number 10. Darren likes Vandy there, and Texas A&M number 3 over at 20-ranked LSU. I think LSU's got a shot on that one. Darren likes Texas A&M. Upset alert. No surprise here. He's going to take Mississippi State plus 7.5 to upset the number 22 ranked Texas team. And then another game that we're going to pick that would be an upset as well was Stanford over Miami, the 9th ranked team. Stanford, of course, Chris Davis, standout running back for the Maroon Tide, getting a lot of touches in that backfield for the Stanford Cardinal there. But we like Stanford in that one to upset Miami.
Yeah, it's really neat to be able to lock in on Saturday action and kind of survey the landscape, see what the former Tidesmen are doing in the college ranks. Just cool to be able to see and have a bunch to kind of follow after. I guess it was John that posted, or maybe Nakee's mom, but had a picture of him kind of getting off the bus at Dartmouth. Man, what a cool thing that is, too, to kind of see what he's been able to do, continue his education on an Ivy League level. Chris Davis, what an education, right, that you're going to gain from Stanford to be able to do these things and not have to pay for the books. The education that's coming along with the hard work that these young men put in during their high school careers.
Yeah, that's two guys who were just phenomenal athletes, but also, as you mentioned, they've always put a quality mark against education, had really good grades. Can't get into Dartmouth and Stanford just by being a good football player, and they certainly have done the academics there as well. Clay, would turn to you to talk to you about your Golden Eagles. Off to a pretty good start, first-year coach and Coach Huff there. What you liking about your Eagles this year?
Man, the wins. Like there was a win earlier in the year that was on, I guess, ESPN2, and some were even complaining because Southern Miss squandered a big lead in the second half and made it interesting. I was not in that number, man. I'll take whatever I can get, and to be perfect in Sun Belt Conference play to this point, a really, really good thing for Southern Miss. Have a big homecoming game tomorrow. Good slate tomorrow of college football. You've got the World Series. You've got hockey going. NBA got started. Like, it's a really, really good time to be a sports fan. A ton going on. I'm about to check that baseball score as we speak. Ricky Whitaker is, unless you've already given that one, we had the Fall Classic getting underway. Dodgers on top of the Blue Jays 2-0. That's after 3 innings have been played. That's in Toronto. And that should be a fun series, as Ohtani, as a free agent, was trying to figure out exactly where he was going to land. The Blue Jays were really thought to be in the leading contender to land Ohtani. Of course, he ended up with the Dodgers and has just been unbelievable. Rick, last week when we were calling Picayune for the homecoming win over Hancock, he was doing something that I'd never seen. Many haven't seen. 3 home runs and then pitched an incredible ball game to help lead his team in victory. And he's just unbelievable. Was fortunate enough to see him with our own eyes live, and just a big, big human that is an unbelievable baseball player.
Yeah, he is a specimen, and as we mentioned, soccer season getting ready to start up as well, and Clay and I will both be traveling this weekend. Clay's got a tournament with his son Easton, and Picayune boys are going to be traveling up to participate in a tournament in Petal. River Central, my daughter plays there. The boys and girls will be playing in Poplarville, and then next Saturday we'll be together. We'll be in Laurel, taking a part of that Laurel tournament. So going to be cold usually, right? It's always freezing during soccer season. I talk to people that my boss is in the Midwest, and he can't believe that we have soccer season this time of year, which it's usually the frozen tundra in his neck of the woods, but cold enough for us as well. Band is finishing up their set here, and players are starting to come out and stretch. We're going to take one more long time out. When we come back, Joining us back on the call will be the voice of the Picayune Maroon Tide for the Talking Ball Y'all Media Group, my man, Mr. Clay Sweet. Second half action underway after these messages.
Looking for a peaceful home-like community for yourself or a loved one? Welcome to Jubilee Gardens Senior Living in charming Poplarville, Mississippi, just minutes from Hattiesburg and Gulfport. Imagine cozy, garden-themed suites with wide doorways, step-free entry, safety rails, and a covered porch perfect for sipping coffee while watching birds and butterflies. Feel supported, not overwhelmed. Our all-inclusive services include daily housekeeping, fresh home-cooked meals at our Birdhouse Bistro, and a calendar full of wellness programs and social activities. Families say we chose Jubilee Gardens because it felt like home. One resident shares, "I spend my mornings on the porch drinking coffee and watching the birds. It calms me in a way I never experienced before." To experience the comfort and independence of Jubilee Gardens yourself, call 601-818-4838 or email jubileegardens.care@gmail.com. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's Jubilee Gardens Senior Living with dignity, safety, and joy in every detail.
Healthy pets, happy people, exceptional medicine, compassionate care. That's our motto at the Animal Health Clinic in Picayune. Located at 500 Kelly Road, we are equipped with the latest veterinary technology and provide a full menu of animal health services, including after-hours emergencies. Dr. Alan Smith invites you to join our clinic family by checking out our website at ahcpicayune.com or calling us at 601-799-1300.
The days of hiding your money in a mattress or burying it in the backyard are long gone. Our friends at Bank Plus can help you save for a rainy day. Hurry in and let their friendly staff help you with all your banking needs. Stop by any of their locations today at 115 Williams Avenue and 951 Memorial Boulevard in Picayune or 105 North Main Street in Poplarville. Bank Plus is more than a name, it's a promise. Need a plumber? Let Harold's Plumbing help you with that. Whether it's new construction or just a plumbing repair, Harold can make it happen. Harold's Plumbing is licensed and can do both residential and commercial jobs. Give Harold's Plumbing a call at 601-273-0598 and let him handle all your plumbing and septic tank services.
Back here at Lumpkin-McGee Stadium on the campus of Longbeach High School, Tide on top, 21-0, Rick. And let's see how the Tide come out and play at like a Super Bowl halftime show. That was an extended version of the two-band night, and so sometimes that can mess with the players' rhythm. As you have had a long time really in the locker room, Dr. Alan Smith and Animal Health Clinic certainly got their money's worth out of that halftime show, an extended break. Tide had the 3 touchdown runs by Zay Dennis. Let's give another recap one more time, Rick, of Zay Dennis's first half in particular.
Boy, Zay just got off to a great start, had 3 really long rushing touchdowns en route to what's been a 15-carry, 263-yard night, 17 and a half yards per carry. But Zay broke his first one for 63 yards, followed that up with a 45-yarder, and then comes back for a 51-yarder. So Zay's had a really good night and really good attendance from the visiting Maroon Tide fan base, too. They've got that visiting fan section over there just about filled up.
Yeah, they have a good traveling crowd there for the Maroon Tide. Wanted to give a shout-out to the junior high program. Won a championship, Rick. Not sure if you hit on that at the half, but if you did, I apologize for the repeat. But that junior high program, undefeated, won a championship over Stone in a dominant victory last night. And so ninth grade played for a championship. Junior high won one, and hopefully the Tide varsity going to get a chance in early December but the program's really in good shape for the Tide future as the second half underway. Tide, we're going to have a touchback opportunity after a booming kick by Downing. Downing not happy with himself after the kick, but he was able to crush that ball. The good kick. Not sure what he's upset about.
I thought it went out of bounds.
That's what he's upset about. I thought he got it into the end zone and tucked it out of bounds. So a good call by you. That makes a lot more sense about his reaction there, Ricky Whitaker.
Yeah, he had a good kick. It was angling in the right direction, but went out of bounds about the 7-yard line.
Yep, so Tide going to have better starting field position than I thought. Going to start this one at their own 35. You could have said the 2 or something, Rick, but you knew we're on video. You couldn't even cover for it. You said the 7, as this will be a give to Dennis and a 2-yard loss. What a job coming out of the locker room by the Bearcats. Going to have a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, we have not said that a whole lot tonight. Zay Dennis had a couple runs that were 3-4 yards, but his first negative carry on the night.
Absolutely. Going to now make it a 2nd and 12 back to the 33. Colt Robertson under center. Here's the toss to Dennis, and back-to-back plays tackled for a loss. Back to the 25. This is going to be a larger loss than the first, Rick. You're going to face 3rd and very long here. After back-to-back losses. Strange start here to the second half.
Yeah, Long Beach coming out on defense, trying to make a statement here, see if they can't get themselves back into this ball game.
It'll be 3rd and 16 for the Tide. Back to the 29. Into space, but not going to be enough space. Up to the 40 goes Dennis. But he needed to get it to the 45 for the first down. Going to be 4th. And let's see what Cody does here. Coach Stagner's got a choice to make. And he'll send a punt unit on, Rick. That's definitely not the way the Tide wanted to start this half.
Go backwards there, and then Zay picks up an 11-yard gain and good physical run there at the end. But, yeah, moving in the wrong direction. Be the first punt on the night for the Maroon Tide.
Yep. Mercy. Here comes Alds to punt it away. Puts his heels at the 28. A little rugby-style half step to the right before he boots it. It's fielded at the 33, advanced up to the 35 before a really good tackle made by Colin Agana flying down for the Tide on special teams. But Bearcats got just what they wanted coming out of the locker room, and that was a 3-and-out, Rick.
Yep, 3-and-out for the Maroon Tide. Longbeach Bearcats sideline feeling real good about themselves defensively.
Why not? Get the 3-and-out, run your offense out there. Going to have pretty good starting field position. We'll start at your own 40, Will Long Beach. Going to put a wide receiver to each side. Valentine still at the quarterback position. He'll tuck himself under center. That's been pretty rare tonight. And Sutherland going to go ahead to about the 41-yard line. Pretty good start here for Long Beach.
Yeah, had a gap there, Clay, and a shoestring tackle by Scott. Without that, he might still be running.
Yeah, and so Long Beach with a good start. 3 good defensive snaps. Now a good offensive snap to go with it. 2nd and 4. Ball at the 41. Another good run, Rick. Going to have first down yardage up to the 47-yard line. Long Beach is pecking away at it. Going to have first down over on the left hash to the 47. Will the Bearcats. So did something the Tide couldn't do coming out of the locker room and have moved the chains here. 8:50 left in the third quarter. Tied up 21-0. Valentine going to call his own number, and that was a good job by the Tide defensively. Going to have a 1-yard loss on the play. Nolan Wilson involved on the backside of that run. Amari Scott there as well. Actually going to say a loss of 2. Bring it back to the 49. Long Beach's side of the field. 2nd and 12. Fake, and then the pass, and just not even close. They're going to be incomplete.
Yep, had a man wide running open again. That's been his favorite target on the night. Same play that they hit us on with in the first half. It's a play action, just a slant route. Got a little bit of a cushion there. Does the Maroon Tide secondary, and slant's a good route for that.
Yep, that was Grant Hodges in coverage. It was Scott, the intended wide receiver, well short of him. See if the Tide could get themselves off the field. It's 3rd and 12. A back off of each hip for Valentine. Looking to throw down the far sideline. Wide open and dropped at the 35-yard line. That was Scott. Just couldn't hold it, Rick, but he found himself really open down that far sideline. Was going to be plenty for the first down and then some, but just couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, wide open. You said it, running wide open. I don't know what happened there. Maybe a miscommunication between the Tide defensive players in the secondary, but caught a break there. Maroon Tide offense going to get another chance.
And Downing, who's been good in the punt game, going to put his heels back at the 32 with Long Beach going to be forced to punt away. Back to return for the Tide. That's Jordan Hathorn. A good kick by Downing. Going to get away from it. It bounces at the 18, and look at this baby roll all the way to the 6. Downing with another great punt will drop the Tide back to the 6-yard line to start this drive. Last time the Tide were pinned that deep, they were at their own 3, and it took Zay Dennis 2 rushing attempts to score a touchdown. We'll see what the Tide can come up with from their own 6. Not the best of starts here to the second half. 7:58 as the Tide went 3 and out. First time they had it. And then Long Beach moved the ball well enough to give their punter a chance to pin the Tide deep, and he did. Tide going to set up shop from their own 6. Toss out to Dennis. Dennis across the 10, 15, 20, 25. Walking the sideline nearest to us. Midfield. 40, 30. Finally escorted out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Really good blocks all over the place. McKinley in on it along with Colt Robertson after a 70-yard effort from Dennis. Maybe that's the key for the Tide, just have a lot of field out in front, as that was some really good blocks over on this left side.
Yeah, that's going to put Mr. Dennis's numbers up to 19 rush attempts, 338 yards on the night.
Been doing this for a bit, Slick. I don't know that I've covered a high school back in back-to-back weeks go over the 300-yard mark. That's a rarity.
Yeah, he's eclipsed his mark last week, which was 322.
Which was incredible. Here's Jordan Hathorn going to lean forward to the 20-yard line on a 4-yard pickup. You think last week was kind of a career game. You get one of those games maybe once in your career, even for an elite back, to do it in back-to-back weeks. You mentioned that he was trailing Keys, I believe, coming in by about 500 yards. I'm sure Ty's having a nice night by the way of that Popperville score, but I would hope that Zay's at least gaining on him some with a 300-plus night. 2nd and 6. Colt Robertson rolled out. He's got a guy open in the flats and has caught. Jordan Hathorn's grabbed it, and after the catch, going to make a nice run up to about the 5-yard line. Good ball there by Colt Robertson, and a nice catch by Jordan Hathorn. That catch that he made here, Rick's, on a lot harder ball than the one that he dropped earlier. Sometimes that's just how sports are. Did a good job getting that left hand out and grabbing it, did Hathorn. And they're going to give him up to about the 3 here, Rick. So that was a good run after the catch. Be 1st and goal to the 3 for the Tide. Dennis at the backfield. He's at the tailback looking for his 4th score of the night. Nope, it'll be to the fullback. and it will be Kane McKinley's first rushing touchdown of the season. He's got one receiving. There he'll go straight ahead for the rushing touchdown. It'll be a 3-yard touchdown there by Kane McKinley. Get the score out to 27-0. 6:40 left before the fourth quarter is upon us as we get ready for our Diamond Productions point after off the boot of Edgar Cruz. PAT is up and through by Cruz. Gets the lead out to 28-0. I'll turn it over to Ricky Whitaker for our Diamond Productions drive summary.
Maroon Tide go 94 yards in 4 plays. It started off by a 70-yard run by Zay Dennis. Had a nice pitch and catch from Colt Robertson to Hawthorne, and Kane McKinley cleans it up. His first rushing touchdown of the game and of the season. He goes in from 3 yards out, put the Maroon Tide back on top 28-0.
Great job there by the O-line once again and Mr. Dennis. Incredible work tonight, man, when you look at back-to-back weeks. What is that? That's 600 and some odd. And when you factor in the catch from last week, you're getting close to 700 yards of total offense from one young man dressed in 9 for the Tide. Just a junior, too, is Zay Dennis. We get another year out of him next year.
Yep. Yeah, top 10 in the state, as we mentioned, and 500 yards separating 10 from number 1, which is Mr. Keys.
Here's a high-hanging kick. Brown going to catch it at about the 3-yard line, trying to set up a return. He's hit hard at about the 19, will fall forward to the 20-yard line. That's where the Bearcats will go to work. And 2 long drives that have really helped those gaudy numbers, right? You get a big field out in front of you, stretch those legs like Mr. Dennis has been able to do. A 97-yard drive for the Tide to score, and then a 94-yard drive. So some yardage, some total yardage being gobbled up. Inside of that, you had a nice completion from Colt Robertson to Jordan Hathorne as well.
Yeah, 4 play drives have been what we've scored on. We've had 6, 7, 8 play drives. We haven't gotten anything out of those.
Here's Brown again. He's ripped off a 20-yard run up to the 41 for Long Beach. He's a good football player, is Junior Brown. A lot of fun to watch. It's been that way each week that we've had a chance to kind of study them and then call his game. He hasn't disappointed. He's been a good running back for a while now for Long Beach. I'm actually going to give him to the 44, be a 24-yard pickup for Junior Brown.
Yeah, Brown going to be knocking on that 100-yard mark if he's not already there.
No, I agree with that. 2 wide receivers each side. Valentine going to send now Scott in motion from right to left. He'll give it to Brown. No, he didn't. He kept it. Valentine across midfield. Going to make himself thin and get across the 45. Made a would-be tackler miss there. And look, he's flipped it over to the 43 of the Tide. A nice run by Valentine. An even better fake. He sold me on the motion and the give to Brown. Brown did not have it. Valentine did. Really nice play by that young man. Shaking up Bearcat on the far side. I think that's Valentine after the run.
Yeah, nice run. Hasn't caught his number a whole lot tonight. That time pulls it out and nobody there.
And this is going to put the Bearcats in a real dilemma, Rick. Not that the injured player on the field isn't our main concern, but from the football perspective, you'd be down to your 3rd-string quarterback. And that will make it awfully
That looks
tough.
to be Miles Deleterious, a freshman.
A freshman, 5'8", 140, Rick. I got a freshman just next door to us in a booth helping the team with their huddle film, and he's a little bit larger but not much in stature. And if I'm that young man, the freshman, I'm pulling for Valentine's health right here as he gobbles over to us. does as he's peering out towards Nolan Wilson and some of those guys. He may be the first one to wish Valentine a quick recovery here as he's about to check into this ball game.
Yeah, got to get him eased into it. Got to make sure he gets the snap first, and Junior Brown's your best friend.
He'll be in the shotgun. He'll put the tailback and Brown to his right, and they're going to ask him to throw the football right off the bat. He'll overshoot his intended receiver, and that was Scott. So you check in a freshman. You've got a 1st and 10 on the Tide side of the field, and you ask him to throw a really tough pass. That's
baptism
rough.
by fire.
Yeah, that's rough on that young man. Probably had to get dropped off at the ballpark tonight. But let's let him throw a 20-yard out. Good grief. Wow. Yeah. 2 wides to the right, 2 to the left. Brown's now off his right hip. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 44 of the Tide. Bearcats have it. Here's a give to Scott. Scott pounded at about the 42. It'll be a gain of 1.5 yards, but Nolan Wilson made him earn it at the end. Good tackle. He got help there by Markel McGill.
Yeah, Ghana in there as well. Ghana been in on a lot of plays, and Wilson just sprinting down the line of scrimmage. Shows that speed.
Man, and he can really run. He showed us that on special teams couple years ago. That's where he first caught our eye. Wasn't long after that he caught Alabama's eye.
Yeah.
4-star commit going that way. 3rd and 9. Valentine back in the ball game, and a diving attempt incomplete. Back in the game is their quarterback. Back in the game is our cornerback. That's Jamari Hathorne in coverage. That's awesome news for the Tide. He laid still on the turf in the first quarter. To be honest, he scared me to death back in the first quarter, Rick, to see him back out in coverage. Great news for our Tide.
Yeah, he's a big loss. He was one of our impact players, leads the team in interceptions. Certainly Maroon Tide in a lot better shape when he's on the field, but we're just glad he's okay.
Now we have to pull for Heltz for Finch. You've mentioned him a few times tonight. He's run some good routes, has gotten himself into some open spots, but we'll pull for that young man to be healthy after the fact. 4th and 9. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen, 2 to the top. Valentine check back in. He's in that shotgun formation. Underneath pass, incomplete. Not sure Nolan Wilson didn't get a hand on that on the way by. Was trying to find Scott underneath, and if Wilson didn't get a pinky on it, he had to come really, really close with Ricky Whitaker.
Yeah, it was close there, but kind of a questionable play call there. Not going to get the sticks, whether if he catches it or not. One of those short routes, but the pressure tonight from Wilson and company has really limited their opportunities to stand in the pocket and stretch anything down the field.
Yeah, that's no doubt about that. Tide going to replace their quarterback. It'll be a snap for Tanner Rayburn, the sophomore, going to get to go under center for his first time tonight. McKinley still in at the fullback position. And that is Zay Dennis still in at the tailback position. Put his nose up to the midfield marker at the end of the run, but they'll only give him up to the 49 of the Tide. Be about a 7-yard pickup, though, by Dennis.
Had a big downfield block towards the end of that play.
It was A.K. Burnett. His helmet came loose.
Doing A.K. Burnett things there. Helmet comes out. He's going to have to come out for a play.
And they'll back it up a yard, and so they'll move it back to the 48. We're not going to take that yard away from Dennis on your spreadsheet over there. We're going to let him be.
I like
Poor spot. 2nd and 3. Dennis dancing around, but he stood up and dropped. A little extracurriculars here between McKinley and his blocking assignment for the Bearcats. A loss of a yard. See what the Tide can come up with here, Rick. 3rd and in a good spot. 3rd and about 4. Junior James going to run the play in. See if Rayburn doesn't get a chance to put it in the air. Wilkins hadn't been called on, I don't think, tonight in the passing game. He's the tight end over on the left side. And it'll be a give to Jordan Hathorn from the wing, coming from left to right, and a good play call. Going to be a first down, get it across to the 45. Tide going to have 1st and 10 from their own 45. Jordan's had a nice night at the wing. His percentage, his yardage coming in to tonight, he was averaging, Rick, was Jordan Hathorn, 10.5 coming into tonight's action.
Yeah, not too bad tonight either. 5 for 36. He's at the 7-yard mark. That time picks up 6 yards, moves the chains.
1st and 10. Here's a give to the fullback, McKinley. McKinley going to run it hard to the 40, go and get himself 5 yards. Will Kane McKinley. McKinley's got a rushing touchdown on the night. Caught one earlier in the year. I believe that was the Ocean Springs ball game where he found himself in the back of the end zone for a touchdown grab. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Had a touchdown run here tonight.
Yep, caught one, rushed for one, and get a score here. You'll get that clock to also run.
Just a sophomore is Mr. McKinley. Here's a give to Fortenberry. Darius trying to find a hole, unable to do so. I believe that's Michael Williams maybe in the ball game as an offensive lineman for the Tide. He'll have to turn in the huddle if he wants to. Well, it's Ben Thompson in for the Tide. Brandon Elliott going to run the play in. 3rd and 3, Tide have it to the 36 of Long Beach, leading this one 28-0. 1:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Tanner Rayburn going to toss it and a spin move, but I don't know that spin move got us to the sticks. That was Zay Dennis, and I don't believe it will. We'll bring up 4th and half a yard is what they're going to say the Tide need to keep it. Tide not going to budge their offense here. Going to leave the offense out on the field.
Not going to budge to get the ball spotted either, my goodness.
Yep, still holding the ball, not putting it down when it really matters here, too, for both teams strategically, like knowing where to put it, what your play is going to be. They finally put it down. No way there's going to be a play clock. Like, you cannot snap it if the ball was never put on the ground. We'll wait and see. They never put the ball down, and they didn't reset the play clock. Good grief. There's no way, Rick. They're calling a delay of game. Me and you sat here and talked about the ball not being spotted. How can you snap it? The official was holding the football. That's going to make it 4th and 5.5. That is incredible. Literally wouldn't let the Tide snap it, then put it down just in time. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an odd look there, but we've seen some crazy stuff.
Yes, we have. 4th, 5.5. Ball at the 41 now after they back it up. Rayburn going to get a chance to throw it to Wilkins over his head a bit, but he almost brought it down. Incomplete now. Going to force the Tide off the field on downs. Rick, just a bit high for Wilkins. He almost was able to kind of tip it down to himself, but he had plenty of room. If that one's down, he's able to run for a while after the catch, but Wilkins just unable to secure it. So 28-0 we stand. Long Beach, though, I will say for this staff, they get their youngins to play hard, particularly on the defensive side. Larry Schaff doing a good job with that defensive unit, getting them to play hard. Full 4 quarters tonight, tuning out the scoreboard, getting them to keep playing hard. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of this set. Valentine with 2 backs off to his right. He'll find Brown running open, and he's to the 30, 25. Brown gonna score with it. Ball was snapped at the 41. That's gonna be a 59-yard pitch and catch, and Brown ran that route earlier in the ball game, was just as open as he was that time, and it'll be a 59-yard pitch and catch. Valentine to Brown to get the Bearcats their first score of the night.
Yep, man, he's he's not hard to miss coming out the backfield, but we've missed him a couple times, and that time they made us pay for it.
And it's not really a true wheel route. He doesn't get far over to the sideline. He really just kind of, it's an old Reggie Bush type route that he ran so successfully with Bush, maybe like a choice type route where he just goes about 5 or 6 yards, can choose whether he breaks it out to the right or the left, but he's going to score on it. A PAT is good, so you're talking about the clock getting warmed up. It will not, Rick. A 21-point advantage as Long Beach is winning this, or excuse me, he's tied in this half, right? 7-7.
Yep. Choice route there. He chose to be open when he's ran it, and that time they connected with him.
Sure did. 28-7. Tied on top, but just gave up. Touchdown drive to the Bearcats. 27 seconds to go here in the third. Downing has it teed up back at his 40-yard line if the Bearcats have marked for their first time tonight. He's hit this one well. Going to drive Fortenberry all the way back to the 2. Fortenberry waiting for his blocks to develop. He'll get it out to the 22, but that's where he is blown dead. He thought he was still alive, thought he had spun out of it, but not going to be able to do so. So Ty going to start this drive at its own 22-yard line.
Yeah, trying to see if the knee was down. Ooh, that was close.
Tide had the long touchdown drive earlier in this quarter. It was a 94-yard drive. Big chunk play to start that drive. Came by way of Zay Dennis. See if the Tide can have another explosive running play. Going to start it from their 22. Kane McKinley at the fullback. As Rayburn still in at the quarterback position. A good driving run up to the 29-yard line. Going to be a 7-yard pickoff. And that is Zay Dennis. It's again for the Tide. Zay up over the 300-yard mark in back-to-back weeks. We'll tell you more about that when we return with your fourth quarter action. Tide on top, 28-7 here at Lumpkin-McGee Stadium, campus of Long Beach High School.
Hi, this is Sandy Kane Smith. I'm running to serve as your next Pearl River County Tax Assessor Collector. I've been responsible for managing over 100 employees, multi-million-dollar budget, and audits across all areas of county government. I will make sure you will get a fair assessment, fully staffed office, and bring back hometown customer service. Thank you for allowing me to serve the last 16 years as your Board of Supervisor. I truly appreciate your confidence and support, but on November the 4th, I need your help. Your vote makes the difference. This is Sandy Kane Smith, and I will see you at the polls.
Paid for by Sandy Kane Smith for Tax Assessor Collector.
Tied on top, 28-7, as we have a fresh 12 minutes on your fourth quarter clock. And the half's tied 7-7, Rick, as Long Beach just able to get their first score moments ago on a pass from Valentine to Ronnie Brown. Tide were able to score earlier in this half on a couple long runs by Zay Dennis.
A lot of movement on that front, Long Beach.
Here's another run for the Tide off the left side. Get it to the 30-yard line. So not a huge run. Pretty good job by this Long Beach defense setting themselves up in a 3rd and 2 opportunity. Play going to be run in by Junior James as Tanner Rayburn in at the quarterback position. Not sure if that score dictated or if we have a banged-up QB1. Greg Ducker could text me some insight on that. Here's the pitch to Dennis. Dennis with the sticks and then some. He has it up to the 40-yard line, does Zay Dennis. So another good pickup by Zay. A workhorse too, Rick. He's starting to pile up the carries, which was really something I wanted to see tonight. I'll be honest, all the time with our listeners, I was hoping Zay would not touch it 24 times tonight.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking 15 might be the stopping point there for Zay, but continuing to carry the load here. 363 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night.
And I can't blame Cody and our staff, where it's only 21 points separating the Tide, but a good job here by Long Beach. Penetration and a tackle for a loss. Another good tackle made by this Bearcat defense, and you look up, it's 2nd and 14, and put it in reverse. That's West for them. He's made several good plays defensively. Junior comes in with 25 tackles on the year. Plays over here on this end nearest to us.
Be a loss of 4 on the play.
I don't see Mitchell Smith in the ball game for the Tide offensive line or Colt Robertson. But here's Dennis. He's still in there. Has it to the 48 on the left side. Normally when Mitchell's not in the ball game, that would take your tailback and take him out as well. But I haven't seen Mitchell or Colt in action in a while for the offense. So that may be score predicated. 10 minutes left in this one. Tied up 21. 28-7 our score. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. That's Junior James, the widest. Kane McKinley, the nearest. That was Jordan Hathorn, I believe, with this carry. Got it across midfield to the 49 of Long Beach. And that was Jordan Hathorn with those high white socks. They'll put it at the 49. Look at this, Rick. Is it a first down or not? They're going to say, yep, wave it forward. It was just by math, could not be a first down, but took us a minute to get that squared away. Midfield gave you the first. When you got it across, it was simple. Tanner Rayburn in at the quarterback spot. Darius Fortenberry going to run the play in from the side. He'll come out towards us, Rick, at the bottom. I'd love to see him catch a 50-yarder here off the hand of Rayburn. You'll have Kane McKinley at the wing. Now he'll split out to the slot receiver. Jordan Hathorn has it. He'll have about a 15-yard pickup to the 35. Will go Jordan Hathorn. Hathorn adding to his rushing total is going to get him up over probably the 50-yard mark tonight for Mr. Jordan. Couple bodies down back behind the play, Rick, and that's a Tidesman at our 46. That's a Bearcat at about their 48. And both in pain, man. Both just kind of twisting back and forth in pain. That's not a good look for either one of those young men. Hate it.
Hope that they're okay. Jordan Hawthorne, good call by you. 7 rushes, 53 yards. Also had the 17-yard reception.
See if we can get either one of these young men to their feet. Both still kind of rolling around down there. I see Wilkins' orange gloves. That's the Tidesman. Really good tight end who's going to get himself up and off the field. Bearcats still down. Just hate to see it. There'll be an injury timeout. We'll take it as well. Tied on top 28-7. 9:33 remain in this ball game.
Looking to buy or sell your land, home, or commercial property in Pearl River County? Then it's time to call the hometown experts at Valente Real Estate. Our friendly local team is here to make sure your real estate dreams come true with personalized home searches, expert guidance, and flexible property showings that work around your schedule. From the first showing to the final signature, we're right by your side, making sure your experience is smooth, stress-free, and right on time. At Valente Real Estate, we believe in more than just closing deals. We build lasting relationships, one happy client at a time. So whether you're ready to find your dream home or sell your current property, visit us at 109 North Main Street in downtown Picayune or give us a call at 601-799-3477. Valente Real Estate, where your next chapter begins.
Word from down below on our Diamond Productions text line as Greg Ducker says, all is well with QB1. So this is score and time predicated at Tanner Rayburn getting some run to quarterback position. Brandon Ellett going to be the wide receiver Juanis in the formation. Kane McKinley in the slot position. Here is Jordan Hathorn with another good run up to about the 26-yard line of Long Beach. Good job here by Jordan, kind of trying to close this one out. Save some tread on the tires of Zay Dennis.
Yeah, Maroon Tide just ran their 8th play of this drive, knocking on the 3-minute mark here. They've had the ball time of possession, maybe one of their longest time of possessions on the night. Certainly glad to see that. Like, keep ticking that thing away.
Yeah, a little bit more of that patented Picayune drives here that going on in front of us. 2nd and short. Jordan Hathorn with a good cutback. Another still up and alive to the 16 goes Jordan Hathorn. 2 really good cuts inside of that run. Really nifty running by Jordan Hathorn. There's a late whistle that's going to come out at the end. Flag almost landed on poor Jordan. Jordan was left back behind. Like, you can't leave him laying there at the 16. A lineman or 2 could have hung around and helped Jordan out.
Yeah, he's
kind of left behind there.
He's in the wrong side of the maroon group, right?
Yeah, man. Go back and take care of our tailback / wingback / wide receiver, Jordan. Can't leave him laying there surrounded by Bearcats. Got a Bearcat who is banged up. The flag's actually going to go against the Bearcats as well. That's Williams being helped off by 2 of his teammates. So that with the penalty yardage, it will put the ball inside the 10. It will be 1st and goal for the Tide, trying to add to this 28-7 advantage. 8:20 left in the ball game. A really good cut, lunging towards the end zone and fumbled. And Fortenberry going to dive on it. Zay Dennis had it, was going to have another touchdown on the night, but fumbles it. Fortunately enough, Fortenberry's right there for the score. So that will have to go in a column of a fumble recovery in the end zone by Fortenberry. As Zay Dennis was really, really close to adding to his touchdown total, but I don't think I can give it to him, Rick. I think it came out about a half a football too early to go in Zay Dennis's column there.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give Zay the 10-yard rush, and we'll give the touchdown to Mr. Fortenberry.
The PAT inside of all that is good off the foot of Edgar Cruz. He's been perfect tonight on his PATs.
Zay Dennis now 27 rushes, 381 yards, and what was a really good drive for the Maroon Tide. They run 10 plays. Started out with really the whole 4th quarter clock. It's down to 8:07 now. Maroon Tide going to march 78 yards on 8 plays, take 3 minutes and 53 seconds off the board, and that's what you want.
What are we up to rushing total, Rick, on the night as a team?
42 rushes, 482 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground, and averaging 11.4 for the group. Zay Dennis's numbers, yards per carry down to 14.1, so gaudy numbers in the first half. Still a heck of a night by Zay Dennis. Don't want to take away anything from his night, but we were comparing a 21 to a 14. It's a big swing, and credit Long Beach. They've came out and played a lot better on defense.
Yeah, they have, and when you look at the Tide coming in to tonight's ball game, as Cruz is added to that touchback total, I believe that gives him 22 now on the year. When you look at the Tide, Rick, have been able to really run the football all season long, but this is even above that as they came in averaging 355 on the ground. You had them well over the 400-yard mark for the rushing total, so that will make that average go up next week when we look at our tail of the tape. We'll be on the road again next week. We will go over Coach High and the Gaucher Gators and check on them. 2-game road swing here. If there's a touchback, Long Beach will go to work at their own 20-yard line. It'll be the combination, as it's been most of the night, of Valentine and Brown. Valentine calls for it in the shotgun. He's got it. He's going to throw the wheel route out, and it was almost picked off and then caught. Wow, at the 35, finds Scott. After two Tidesmen almost caught the football, somehow it ends up in the hands of Scott. Really remarkable 15-yard completion there, as this ball is almost picked off not once but twice by Tidesman. But Scott ends up with a 15-yard reception. Grant Hodges, the tackle made.
Yeah, I think if he hits him sooner, he had a lot of space there, but waited a little bit too long to throw that ball.
And they found something with that type of route and that little area defensively. Have Long Beach. They haven't all ended in completions, but they have been open tonight. Here's going to be a give to the dive back for the Bearcats. That's Sutherland just going straight forward, getting what he could. And what he could was no gain. A second in, really 10 and a half. They'll probably credit that with a tackle for a loss.
Sutherland wincing a little bit after that run, going to stay in the game.
3 wide receiver set, 2 to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. So give once again to Brown. You had Brody Kirkland in on the play. That was Zay Jackson as well. And then Colin and Ghana. Ghana going to end up with a high tackle total tonight.
Ghana's played well. Zay Jackson's played well too. Made some tackles, but he's also been disruptive. He's allowed his teammates to make some plays as well.
Zay Jackson, a baseball manager. Got to know him during the baseball season. Fun kid to know. Here's Valentine trying to go out to the right side. Unable to do much. Good speed for the Tide. Is Ald's tied up here near screen with his blocker.
Yeah, and that's saved really by the defensive tackle getting out there, but kind of maybe a bad misstep there by Scott. Caught himself inside when he should have maybe been outside a little bit quicker.
4th and 11. Bearcats going to choose to punt it away. This will be Downing once again. He's going to put his heels at his 20. It's been good tonight, and he's hit another collegiate-type punt. A beauty. Look at this bounce. Going to bounce at the 25. It's going to roll all the way to the 10. Rick Downing's a special kid for them in their punt game. He has hit it well tonight. Really good job. Unfortunately for the Bearcats, he's had to do it too often, but when they've called upon him, he has been good, has Downing.
He has. It's been one of those nights where you're backed up inside the 10-yard line, and I think for the Maroon Tide, like, we got them right where we want them. This is where they've operated really well.
What do the Tide have? A 96-yard or 97-yard drive and then a 93-yard drive to their credit tonight. And so when you look at these yardages, both rushing and total, there are going to be some huge numbers at the end of this one for the Tide. Can kind of add to that number. 6:12 left in this one. Tide on top, 35-7. Trying to go off the left side. Let's see who that rush was with. Was that with Fortenberry? Or was that with Zay again? Looks like Zay getting up and flipping it to the football after the run.
Short pickup.
It was just a gain of 1. Another run, kind of the same result. Not a whole lot there. Maybe another gain of just 1. Just trying to see if that was Jet in the backfield for the Tide with his 35-7 advantage. 5:20 to go. Running in the play, that is Junior James for the Tide. Tide face a 3rd and 7 here. Ball spotted at the 15-yard line. Looking to throw Rayburn Scott in an open wide receiver, and it is caught. And run up to the 35-yard line. Good pass by Rayburn. And that was caught by 80, Rick. I'm going to venture a guess that that's Donovan Banks who has checked in. He's one of our ninth graders that got pulled up. He didn't wear 80 a week ago, but I'm going to venture a guess that that was Mr. Banks with his first high school catch. Good ball there by Rayburn. Underneath give. Helmet came off by the young man up to the 41. Was the result of the play, but a helmet came off. That was Zayden Foxworth, the ninth grader. So the ninth graders have hit the action here. Zayden went and got 5 yards. I'm telling you, he is going to be a fun one to look at, Ricky Whitaker. We saw flashes of it even a week ago. Had 2 good runs. 35-7. 4 minutes left in this ball game. That's Zayden Foxworth at the tailback. Colin Igana at the fullback. That's Donovan Banks who's going from left to right. Here's the pitch to Foxworth, puts his foot in the ground, has driven it forward up to midfield. There goes the ninth grader with a 12-yard pickup in Mr. Foxworth. Flag after the fact down the field. But that was an explosive type look at Mr. Foxworth and what the future holds. Beautiful run there by Foxworth. Penalty flag going to go against Long Beach. One thing the Tide have done tonight, Rick, have limited our penalties. There haven't been a whole lot of these that have gone against the Tide, so that's a good sign. It's been pretty clean from that perspective.
Yeah, really has been a pretty clean penalty game, but nice 9-yard run there by Foxworth and going to tack on a lot more.
Yep, going to be a 15-yarder go against the Bearcats. So gets it to the 35 of Long Beach. Tide trying to add to a 35-7 advantage. 3:44 left in this one. McKinley, wide receiver to the right of the formation. That's Junior James to the top of the formation. Mishandle between the center and the quarterback. Rayburn just has to fall on it. I believe his intentions were to give it to Zayden Foxworth, just didn't come out clean with it. And so not a good exchange there between Nixon and Rayburn. Rayburn just going to have to fall back on it. Rayburn's gotten a majority, if not all, of the snaps here in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Colt in the second half at all.
Illett, the wide receiver, to the top. McKinley to the bottom. Here's Zayden Foxworth with running room. He lowers his head and went and got more out of it. About 9 yards deep in the run, he punished someone and went and got about 4 more yards. To the 24 goes Mr. Foxworth. Another big gain for the freshman.
Yeah, it's going to be a pickup of 15, and, boy, you can see that burst of speed that Foxworth has and the ability to get behind his pads and run physical. He's got 30 yards on 3 carries, Clay.
And he's little, Rick, but he doesn't run little, man.
That's going to put the Maroon Tide totals up on the night for 517 yards. Incredible night.
When he plays defense, too, for that ninth grade group, like just a beautiful form tackler, too. Here is Colin Igana, 10-5, stays alive, touchdown for Mr. Igana. He has his 3rd touchdown on the year. Is Colin going to take that one in? 20-plus there for Mr. Igana on the score.
24-yard touchdown run by Mr. Igana. Physical run.
Yeah, man. He came in and out of a few tackles there, did Mr. Igana's. Had a nice night defensively, adds to it with a rushing touchdown. His 3rd on the season as we await our Diamond Productions point after. Rayburn will hold. Kinley will snap. And it will be Mr. Cruz to put his foot in a extra point here to get the Tide to 42-7. 35-point lead now with 2:01 left in the ball game. Good job there by the Tide offense, Ricky Whitaker. And, man, when you talk about the total yards, we'll give our Diamond Production drive summary, and then we'll speak
and Maroon
to
Tide,
that total
another
again.
good long Patton Picayune drive. They take 4 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. They go 90 yards in 8 plays, and it's capped off by Mr. Agana with a 24-yard rush, his first touchdown of the night. Maroon Tide on the night, 48 rushes, 541 yards, and 6 touchdowns of production. That is a heck of a night on the ground.
It really is, man. And these last 2 ball games, when you look at it, just strictly output, Rick, have been incredible, right? I mean, you've had some long fields to work with that help you with some of these totals, but back-to-back games, I mean, Picayune's historically been really, really good, but these 2 games sandwiched, I mean, right here next to one another, this is going to be 2 games with as many yards as you've probably seen in back-to-back games in a long, long time. Cruz has it teed up, as we'll have to name a Farm Bureau player of the game for tonight's action, which, you know, we went last ball game as for that Farm Bureau player of the game. Be hard-pressed not to name him again for the Picayune perspective. 42-7. Tide on top. Running clock. As we're now just 9 seconds away. I don't even think it'll be snapped again. Tide going to take this one 42-7. Rick's giving you those totals for the night as part of our Exotic Stones post-game show and as our Pearl River Community College post-game show. Tide going to take this one tonight 42-7 over Long Beach, as that will do it. Tide going to take it 42-7 over Long Beach. Next week we'll be on the road over at Gaucher. You can look for our preview podcast early in the week. We'll catch up with Coach Hahn here about the Gators as we're in our Pearl River Community College and Exotic Stones post-game show. Rick, if you would, give us the totals, just those totals again for Zay Dennis and our totals, and then we'll wrap this baby up here from Long Beach High School with a Tide with a big win, 42-7.
Yeah, really, really big night on the ground for Zay Dennis, who led the way again for the Maroon Tide. 29 rushes, 386 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Hawthorne was good with his carries as well, 9 for 72. And then you had Fortenberry that had some runs. Colin Agana goes in for a touchdown. McKinley had a touchdown, and Fortenberry, I think, stole one of Dennis's touchdowns that came out right at the goal line there. But 21-0 game at the half. Maroon Tide and the Bearcats both punt on their first possessions, and then Maroon Tide come back, and it's Kane McKinley who goes in from 3 yards out to put the Maroon Tide up 28-0. And then the next possession, Brown sneaks out of the backfield for a 59-yard touchdown. That makes it 28-7. Agana adds some yardage, 24-yarder. He goes in, make it 35-7, and 42-7. And that is how this thing ended tonight. But boy, looking at it, you talked about Foxworth and how good he was. Just touched it 3 times and had 30 carries. So just a really good looking 9th grade group that's coming up, and really cool to see those guys play.
Yeah, it's neat to be able to get them in. Tide win this one, go to 3-0 in district play. Do the Maroon Tide run their record out to a 7-1 mark overall, but to have that perfect district play record is the one that really counts at a 3-0 mark. Look for that post-game podcast to be out late tonight, early in the morning, to hear from our players and our coaches. You'll hear from Rick and I again on our preview podcast. Until then, love God, love people. Tide take it tonight, 42-7 over Long Beach.